What's going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? Sorry for the longer lead in. I wasn't expecting to have one, but kid aggro is kid aggro. So, had to go be dad for a moment. And so, yeah, we are back, though. It is going to be a great night tonight. We have Enate, as you can see. Not much gilding the lily tonight, guys. We have a ton of stuff to talk about. Xbox has given us information about Project Helix. I don't know if Matt Booty thought this was going to be profound or thought he was going to like win brownie points with this, but we're going to talk about it because some of the stuff he says makes me really scratch my head. It should also make fans of the console extremely worried. It should make people who have seen what's happened over the last 2 generations extremely worried, and we're going to kind of talk about that. There's some things that Enate has brought up on this earlier, and him and I were talking. So I'm going to be really excited to get his perspective on that and some of the things he's been noticing that people are talking about with the use of the word publisher and how Xbox is and all that stuff. Next, we got Mouse PI for Hire. It is launching tomorrow. Thank you to those in the Discord who have been pushing this game. They got me super hyped for it. I already love the art style, that Steamboat Willie look. It's pretty cool. We get Troy Baker in a 1930s noir mouse detective shooter. That just sounds fun. And so, Mirko81, me too. And so, yeah, that game comes out tomorrow. We're going to talk about it a bit. There was a review that I watched earlier by Jake Baldino. I recommend everybody to go check that out. It's on the Game Ranks page. He talks about some of the good, the bad, and basically it's a gameplay game. It's one that you're going to want to play for the gameplay mainly and for the story. There's going to be some clunky controls, some things you have to overcome. It's a $30 game, and so yeah, we're going to talk about it a bit. Then we have another game that has been called a PS2 title, an Xbox 360 title, kind of a return to that, hey, let's just have fun in game. And that is Pragmata. Those reviews have been trickling in, and so yeah, we're going to discuss some of those because I know because of things like Space Marine 2 last year and Stellar Blade the year before, those type of titles are kind of breaths of fresh air to gaming, and so it's going to be really nice to have that title coming out at the end of this month. And then Rockstar hackers actually make Take-Two stock increase. I have a tinfoil hat theory, and so we're going to discuss that as well. And then update on Ubisoft, because I am a closet Ubisoft shill, and I can't help myself. Ubisoft is going to be giving the Prince of Persia Lost Crown devs team another chance. And so that's really cool. Going to talk about that because even though I didn't like the presentation that game gave of the Prince of Persia IP, I like the IP, and the IP is interesting enough to where I actually want to see another game from it, and I want to see something done more along the lines of kind of a, updated form, features, functions, benefits of the first couple titles. And so hopefully that's what that leads to. And then Bethesda acknowledges Starfield, PS5 crashes, and more fixes are coming soon. Holy crap, a Bethesda game is broken upon launch. Call me shocked. With this one, I actually am shocked, though, because the game has been out for a year and a half now, if not more. Hell, I don't even remember when the hell this game came out. And so they've had time. They've had people. They've had developers. And now it comes out and it barely runs. So, with all of that being said, those are all of our topics. Also, if you ever want to know public information, you do not want to bring the smoke with the real Enate. That's because he will absolutely roast you. If for anybody who wants to pause it and read this, you may. It is right here. This is why you don't screw with him about anything gaming, because he will put you in your place. Enate, how the heck are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm, despite some of the crazies, showing up on the timeline, I'm having a good time, man. Gaming is doing phenomenal. Some of the games I've been waiting forever for are dropping or have dropped. I'm 200 hours deep in 2 separate playthroughs of Crimson Desert and loving that game.
Damn.
Replaced just came out the other day. So I started Replaced. as well, and that's been phenomenal. Like the freaking soundtrack in that game, and just the Blade Runner cyberpunk vibes have just been immaculate. Man, I'm just like, there's just so much stuff, and then like you said, uh, Mouse PI tomorrow, which I'm also picking
That
up.
game looks so fun.
Uh, yeah, that game looks fun, and then I've already pre-ordered. Um, I've already pre-ordered Pragmata for PS5, so it's just like I'm eating it up, man. The only thing that I'm not really picking up that everybody else is, going for this month is really Soros, and I still might end up picking that up depending on how some of these new features are integrated and some of the other stuff they're talking about, the make you stronger things and things of that nature. Like I said, I'm just not really a bullet hell person, but I really hope they knock it out the park. As obviously I'm a fan of PlayStation first party titles and the quality that they usually go for, regardless of if the game is not really my type. Um, so I'm looking forward I'm still looking forward to seeing how that turns out. A bunch of people are now reviewing it, and having some fun with that. And then of course, some later this month, more so my thing coming late this month is Incombini, the Japanese, uh, storefront management kind of deal, cozy game, right before our other cozy game gets ready to come out as well with Coffee Talk Tokyo.
Yep.
Um, you know, so like they honestly, this is like the gas moment before the summer where you eventually will hit the break where games stop releasing,
Wandering
and that's
Sword
your
also
break.
comes out on in May. I think May 20th as well. So I have two indie titles that I have to get on my birthday because I need Wandering Sword because it's the Xuya or the Zuya kind of Wulong Fallen Feathers or Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Oh, uh,
It's not the remake. Why can't I think of it? The dang it! I beat the game last year. What the heck?
you're
Sword
talking about
of
Sword and Fairy.
Sword and Fairy. That's it. It's that
Yeah,
kind of lore, but it's in an 8-bit or a 16-bit RPG, and so
yeah.
really
So,
excited about that.
so the word you're looking for is Jia,
Jia,
or
thank
the
you.
full, yeah, or the full name that they call it is Wujia, which
Wujia, that's
all
it.
that really means is martial heroes. Like
Yes.
Wujia is like a big thing in China, and I'm glad they're actually branching out and coming out with a lot of their own anime and stuff. And like you said, like you experienced in Sword and Fairy, and even the upcoming Sword and Fairy that they're taking inspiration from Expedition 33. And really giving you that grittier tone, that higher production value,
Mm,
which is dope.
God, I can't wait.
So, yeah,
Also,
so
we're getting
like
a
I mean,
remake
there's
of
so
Sword
much
and
good
Fairy
stuff.
4.
We are indeed.
Mm. It's really been kind of
And
cool. And then Phantom Blade Zero had an update today where the devs actually talked about bringing that style and that lore set into a very realistically done AAA style kind of game because that's traditionally not where they've been. They've been in the indie space, they've been in the 2D space. And so they talked about they wanted this game to help make what'd you say, Wuxia? Is that it? Is that how you actually say it?
Ujia, yeah,
Wuxia. They wanted to make
yeah.
Wuxia as common in gaming as Bruce Lee made kung fu in Hollywood. Is like what their hope is down the road and as it keeps growing. And I'm like, man, please, because it's not often I get like a new lore set based off of ancient lore that I knew nothing about. And so it's really cool because it introduced something
Well,
into my zeitgeist that I didn't like know. Like the whole
well, that's the thing
cultivation
that I
thing.
find. Well, that's the thing that I find cool is like I've read about this stuff for years because I've been into manhwa. So, or manhwa and manhwa, they're pronounced very similar. One is Korean, and one is Chinese. But they're basically their versions of manga, of Japanese manga, but they're in color. And like you said, the cultivation stuff that has been big for them for years, and I've been
Mm.
reading them for years, but because most people are not into it, or even that most people don't even know they exist, right?
That was
Like,
me. No idea.
yeah, they needed to expand into other territories for other people to see, and like thankfully, whether you like Black Myth Wukong or not, thankfully it helped their government kind of see like, hey, look, we got a story to tell. People want to see, ancient Chinese history, our Wujia and all these other things that we have, and like we got a platform here, and thankfully with the success of that game, you've got a booming market now, with their government backing them. Like you said, Phantom Blade Zero coming, they're benefiting from a ton of that new backing.
Yep.
And then also they're getting into the anime space a lot heavier lately. So they're starting to work with Japanese animators and some other stuff. Because one of their they've had some really cool stories, but part of the trouble for them was like, I don't know, like China like for a while got into like really cheap 3D animation, and so it's like some of the stories are really cool, but they didn't get like a proper anime. And it's like, man, if y'all would just like, there's so many of the stories that I've read over the years, um, that there's one in particular, that I know that has like 5 stories now of subsequent generations, from the very first one. Um, and they eventually did do like an animated of it, but it's again, it's like I said, it's like that cheap 3D art, so it wouldn't really take off. But the actual manhwa for it was incredible, and that's why they have so many of them. And I'm like, man, if like a serious anime studio was to take that and put it on the level of like Solo Leveling, or some of the other titles we've seen, bro, you could get some
Mm.
incredible growth, from China. So it's like there's so many different, like I said, avenues that they're pursuing right now. And like you said, we're getting more money put into even the titles like you saw, because you've seen the growth of Sword and Fairy, when you got into it, and you've seen now, like you said, what the upcoming one is, looking like that they're working on, and the inspirations they're taking from some of the, uh, you know, better examples in the market, and modifying, the Sword and Fairy, remake. So yeah, I
I
don't know,
find it
man, it's
really
incredible.
cool as you're talking about this. I find it really cool that as we've kind of seen this progression into this current generation of console, we've ended up in a spot where we have killer 16-bit titles that have landed and done fairly well. Sea of Stars is one. You have Octopath Traveler 2. You have Live Alive. You have, Square Enix has done a lot on that front.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
what the crap was the one that was done by the one dude? What was it? The guy from Chrono Trigger did 2 songs for it. Why can't I think of it? I own the game. What's the name of it? It came out before Sea of Stars. Chained Echoes. Um, that game hit the ground, did really well for itself, and now, like you said, we're starting to see like it's almost like it's this perfect storm that has been brewed for these titles to come even further over, because the genres that they're picking to put these titles in have been getting more popular and like an uptick. And also the lore set has been gaining more exposure from the games you mentioned, from like the Black Myth Wukong, from Phantom Blade Zero coming out, from Sword and Fairy, Together Forever actually getting localization in English. Like that was, and well, for subtitles at least. So like it's been pretty interesting since when you mentioned that, it kind of made my brain think about how even the genres of games that they're choosing to do have been seeing an uptick recently. So they're jumping into it at what I would say is the perfect time, because like people like 2D, HD, 3D looking titles. That's not something that's nearly as faux pas as it used to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's become a lot more accepted as we've gotten different styles, um, and things of that nature. Like for me, like even for me, like I'm not like the biggest pixel art fan. but because so many people have adopted it now, we've gotten so many different versions of it, right?
That's true.
Um, because I was explaining to somebody like I was watching one of my friends play. She was playing a fishing game or something, right? And it's a pixel art game, and I was like, "See, I can't." It was too pixelated. So certain games are overly pixelated, where I feel like it hurts my eyes. Like it doesn't. It's not clear enough. So that's why I always give people a good example of the perfect example of the best HD 2D kind of pixel art was Octopath Traveler 2. Like that game on the PS5 in 4K was super clean, super clear, but it still kept true to its art style. So you can still do pixel art and still get a very clean visual at the same time. Um, so and then probably the most pixel art thing I've played that's closer to more traditional pixel art is recently, if you've seen Replaced. That's pretty heavily. They of course have their own unique style, right? They have these really detailed backgrounds and stuff that you're running through as you're playing, and um, going through this world that's setting this Blade Runner vibe and dystopian future, um, you know, where it's us versus them kind of mentality and really setting the tone. And it's like even that game has kind of pulled me in, right? So it's like that's why I always tell people, there's an exception to every rule, and
Facts.
even the games that are at the bottom of my preferred list, there's chances are some game will come along at one point that will make me like that genre, right? Or get me to delve into it because it's the perfect mix, right? Like we talked about Expedition 33 last year was the perfect blend for a ton of people to get into a turn-based game and not just get into it, but complete it and often 100% it.
Uh huh.
That's what happens when you do something that is just different enough that the genre was kind of lacking. And screw the haters, right? Like that, the game did a perfect storm of things that we were asking for that the lead of the genre wasn't doing anymore, right? which
Yep.
was which was Final Fantasy, right? They were supposed to be the de facto lead and all these other things. And this gets into it, and I told you we were going to flow into topics. We never had this problem,
We never have
but
this problem. This.
this gets even deeper, right? Into um, where we talked about, certain games. We grew up with certain games, but they didn't grow up with us. Um, and the JRPG genre, we have often seen, a lot of people request like more mature stories, more
Hmm.
mature characters. I don't want the coming of age story anymore. Can I get somebody who's 30 and pays bills? You know what I'm saying? Can I, like I want to,
Well, I mean, you
like
can even
like
go
and
a
that's
step
where
further
we
with
were.
the mouse PI for hire. It's a
Hmm.
cutesy kitty art style from the 1930s that was used with Mickey Mouse and the cartoons from back then that were kid friendly and for the kids
Hmm.
and blah blah blah. But this is people rats are getting their heads blown off in this. Like that's I love that art style. I love those old school cartoons, but I'm not 7 years old anymore. Like
Exactly.
I want I want more. I can handle more. Now, when I say that, do not get it twisted. In JRPGs, if you want to shock me in a JRPG, give me a good ending. Give me a happy
Oh
ending
yeah,
for my characters. Stop thinking
absolutely.
you're surprising us by making the character have to die for everybody to live. That doesn't
Agreed.
surprise us anymore. Like, stop. Anyways, I'll just like so.
But no, like you said, I agree, right? Like there's room for more. There's room for growth in all these avenues, right? Um, like I said, like I'm a big like everybody usually knows what I don't like, and I always tell people you'll typically know what I don't like because if I told you what I like, that would take too long. So it's much easier to give you the list of games that I don't like. Um, it's just shorter. Um, so it's like I always tell people puzzles and platformers are typically at the bottom of my preferred list, right alongside roguelikes. you know. But then from roguelikes, we got roguelites,
Yeah, but there's
right?
an
And that
asterisk when you say puzzles and platformers because if if done correctly, a puzzle
mhm.
somebody could consider God of War, the old God of War's slight puzzle games because they had fucking hellacious puzzles in them if you remember.
Well,
Like,
and that's what I told people. I was like, there's I'm not a fan. So I'm not like something like Blueprints, right?
oh,
That's purely puzzle,
yeah.
and it's also randomly generated, which I definitely don't like. Because then I can't really form any real strategy on it, right?
So it's a roguelike
Um,
puzzle game.
yes, exactly. It's a combination of
That's
literally
fair.
two things that I can't stand. Like they literally created the perfect game, not for me. But again, I'm not gonna play it, so you won't hear me down talk it. Like
Sure.
I'm sure it deserves, for the people who love those games, I'm sure it deserves all them nines and tens and whatever. Um but then there's, like you said, there's something like Uncharted, right? I never really used the guide in Uncharted or anything like that, right? Unless I'm looking for like the treasure, but the puzzles, I mean, because the puzzles were designed well and they were intuitive. And a lot of people don't really know what that means, but I'm like, there's a thing when you approach a puzzle in a game where they lead you in a way in great game design that you feel like you get the eureka moment still, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not meant to stump you and get you stuck. You know what I mean?
The
Like
Tombs and
I
Tomb
always
Raider.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the tombs in the newer Tomb Raiders, they're not meant to defeat you. They're meant to be a storytelling device. It's when you go in and you find the relic and you find the and you go into the tomb and you get an ancient piece and you flip it over and you but they're not and they're yeah, there's a couple that I spent a while on. There was one where you had to get a barrel. It was very early on in the first one, if I'm not mistaken. You had to get a barrel, throw it onto a platform, have it raise up debris out of water so you could then light a crate, put the crate on the platform, put the crate in the water on top of the other debris, and then it would go down and unlock a gate for you. I spent way too much fucking time trying to figure out that puzzle. Like,
Feel
but
you.
after I figured it out, I was like, oh, I'm just an idiot. Cool. And like, I didn't feel like the game was being unfair. I just completely missed that it was saying, hey, you could. I missed one of the QTEs where you could press like square and like light something. So that was on me. I was just dumb. But like, it was there. It popped up. She even said at one point, maybe I should try that barrel. And I was like, yeah, I'm trying. I couldn't figure it out. But like,
Yeah.
it never felt like I was getting defeated by the game as much as I was defeating myself. And so,
No, I get that, and I agree with what Hero said. Like I like the puzzles in Lost Legacy. And that's what I was saying. Like he said at one point, he said some of the stuff felt easy, right? And like that's my thing though. I don't I don't I'm not looking for easy or hard. I'm looking for I'm not about to spend 2 hours on this puzzle trying to figure this out because I'm definitely not about to do that. Like that's why I said like make the puzzle make sense within the world. Don't just make it hard for hard's sake to be in my way and to start slow my progression. Because that's one thing I've become extremely dialed in on is things that are put in my way to slow me down. And I hate that. Um that's actually been a big thing and one of the things that I was gonna make one of the topics on our show because it's not just puzzles, right? It's we often talk about great game design, right? And one of the things that I feel like we had a conversation in a group chat that I was in about the lost art of economy balancing in video games where this is big in JRPGs because we often do what we have crafting JRPGs where you have crafting, so you have crafting materials. Sometimes you have other materials you need to make the ultimate weapon or all these other things, right? I mean, if you've played, a number of Final Fantasies over the years, they've had different variations of systems, right, in place. that kind of do that, right? So some things are way more rare than others. But if you got to go out of your way for hours on end, farming some of this stuff, looking for this stuff constantly, and it's preventing you from pushing forward or progressing, it's like how balanced, is that economy in the game? Do you feel like you're constantly having to go out of your way in order to level or craft items that you want, or is it woven into the world in a way that you feel like you can keep pushing? And that, funny enough, is brings me to a game that you were playing, or at least you were. I didn't know if you finished it or not, but Forbidden West, right? I
Mm.
love that world because as I'm traversing that world, I can, as long as I push the main story just enough, right, to get the items I need, I can pick up all the things I need to craft her stronger gear throughout the game without slowing me down. Like that is a perfect example of a game that has good flow if you know when to push the main story.
Yes,
But yeah.
I will
Yep.
100% agree with that. And that was my problem with it, which is why I'm taking it super slowly now. uh,
Absolutely.
so, we're just going to go ahead and segue into this. Speaking of taking it slowly,
Hmm.
we're just going to dive into this. Booty needs to take everything slowly. I think the dude needs to wear a helmet and needs to have a muzzle because he doesn't need to talk anymore. He came out, and as I was looking up articles for tonight and things to talk about and stuff like that, I talked to you earlier. It's been kind of a slow 2 weeks, and then I saw this article, and I was like, "Hey, we have shit to talk about." It's like, oh, cool. So here's what it says: Next gen Xbox Project Helix will benefit from hardware and software teams working together. Exec says. This is where Xbox really shines and where we stand apart and what shows off what's unique about us, Xbox executive Matt Booty says. Okay, so that's just a little snippet from the interview. Starting in the article, and this is from GameSpot. If you're in the Discord, by the way, guys, join the Discord. We have great conversations in there. We're always talking about gaming industry, gaming news, games we're playing, games that are coming out. Like, it's literally why I'm buying Mouse PI for hire, because there's a couple dudes in the Discord that will not shut up about it. And I started looking into it, and I fell in love with what I saw. So, like, come on over. We'll have a great time. The link is in the description below. And let's continue with the article, though. Xbox boss Matt Booty has commented on the upcoming PC console hybrid device currently in the works under the codename Project Helix. Appearing on the newest Xbox podcast, Booty who was recently promoted to Chief Content Officer at Xbox, said Microsoft stands apart from other big publishers because the company has both hardware and software divisions, and this is helping make Project Helix better. It's true that not every, now this is this still him? Hang on, let me look at the quote. Big publishers. Okay. It is true that every publisher has hardware and software, or not every publisher has hardware and software divisions, but Microsoft's biggest competitors, Sony and Nintendo, do. That is the writer's Eddie Mackuk. That's his commentary on this, and he's absolutely right. Like, it's not really special here. As we continue, we'll see why. In any event, Booty said that Xbox's hardware and software teams got involved with Project Helix early on. I would fucking hope so. To map out the vision and technical specs for Helix. And here's in quotes, guys. Here, this is in quotes. You can see the quotes on the screen. Here it is, right here, right there. We're there every step of the way as these things come along, so it's an exciting time. As we've done with many consoles before, those two teams will work hand in hand as we get that together, he said. As the hardware comes online, our teams will be the first to get involved. There's already a lot of that already happening. This is where Xbox really shines, where we stand apart, which shows off that we're unique. And he said that it's an exciting moment to announce Project Helix and the showcase and the synergy between Xbox's hardware and software teams. And then this guy just recaps some stuff about Project Helix and all that. So here's the thing. You did this for the Series X. You did this for the Series S. You did this for the Xbox One. You did this for the Xbox One X. You have had previous leaders say that y'all started falling off at the Xbox One generation. That's not my words. Those are words that are very easily found from interviews that this dummy did. Not this dummy, the other dummy, Phil Spencer. So, what makes this so much different? And why is it a talking point? Why is it something that you're hanging your hat on, that your in house development teams are working with your in house hardware team to develop your new in house hardware? That's like saying, hey guys, the engineers at Coke are helping me develop the new Coke recipe. No shit.
Exactly.
Duh. Why was it? It's, hey, PlayStation said they worked with their developers and blah, blah, blah. PlayStation said we went to every developer that we partner with and asked them questions. We didn't just stay in house. Of course, our in house teams are going to be the best equipped to handle our machines and handle all of our specs and handle the hardware.
Yeah,
But
like you said, this should be a given.
like, it's
Yeah.
so fucking
But
stupid.
like you said, that's what they should be doing is like you said, the external, feedback is what's more important because they're working with products and the things that you may not be considering, which is again why Cerny in the beginning, right? Stated and told them, a bunch of people when they were worried about T flops and all this other stuff at the start of the PS5 generation, hey, there's a bunch of things going on here that everybody's not going to understand, in his very soft spoken Mark Cerny voice. Um, and he was like, look, you'll understand one day when the machine that I designed does things that you didn't think were possible. And, here we are again years later in another generation where the PlayStation was yet again told to be the weaker device and you know the power of the Series X and the 1440p Series S were going to run all over PlayStation, right? And that has not happened once again. The PS5 is still performing really well. And the Kraken tech is helping with space, which has become a premium more than ever lately. So that tech making games significantly smaller on your SSD and all these things have taken place while the PS5 has worked very well for a lot of external developers on varying platforms, right? Again, which was a big part of that whole story. So yeah, like I said, I agree with you. Like this should be a given, but they need to make sure you're working externally with some of these teams if you're looking to maximize, platform gains and compatibility with whatever this device ends up doing. But honestly, I'm not sure they're at that stage yet, based on what we saw at GDC, because they got on stage and said a whole bunch of fluff.
Uh huh.
Um, yeah, at GDC when they showed it, they were like, yeah, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do the experimental layer and we're gonna do, and it's like a bunch of people walked out that room not
Mm-hmm.
knowing what the Helix is gonna be still.
Correct.
Like recently somebody said, how come no one has asked out of all these influencers and all these people hugging Asha, like the Disney princess, with pure excitement and joy and how she's gonna change the planet and revitalize Xbox, like Jesus rose again in 3 days. Um, but no one has asked. They were hype about it running Steam and running anything they wanted, but yet no one has asked any of them directly, is this device gonna run Steam?
Mm.
We have no real specifics about this device. We heard about an Xbox mode, or whatever. Like we're hearing tidbits, we're hearing buzzwords, right? But nothing concrete. And honestly, I feel like they just revealed it too soon, to be honest. Like they're not really ready to talk about it. Like if
That's
we're
actually
being
what it
honest.
feels like to me because here's everything that they're talking about feels very future, like very future based. Like we're here on the ground floor. They've been working with them for a while. We're trying to get this set up. They're going to be along the way. They're going to do that. Like the, if you're about to announce a console, those things are what needs to be done. Like that. So think about Mark Cerny. Mark Cerny comes out and he says, "Hey, we're doing Project Amethyst. What's that? It's a partnership with AMD. Is that the PS6? No, it's a project with AMD. Oh, okay. People run with it and go, well, they're going to announce the PS6. They're going to talk about the PS6. They're going to do this with the PS6. They're going to blah, blah, blah. Sony, silent. They haven't said but two shits about the PS6. They're talking about extending the PS5 life cycle. Project Helix comes out. They're starting to talk about it. All this stuff is going on. Like you said, there's this big, huge hype train about it and all of that. And listen to what he says, though, because this is more fluff. This is more bullshit. This is more like what Josh said. They have to feel like they're in the loop. They have to feel like they have something to talk. That was Phil Spencer's problem all the time. They had to feel like they needed to say something. Sony came out good, bad, or indifferent, and boom, there was a Microsoft something that had to be said. There was an interview. There was this. There was that. There was, shoot, what was her name? Black Girl Magic. What the hell's her name? Sarah Bond. Thank you. There was Sarah Bond coming out and saying shit. The Tim Stewart was coming out. Satya Nadella. Nobody could shut their mouth long enough to let any other company have a bad day. And now here's the same shit. Listen to this crap. Project Helix is powered by a custom AMD SoC and co-designed for the next generation of DirectX and FSR to unlock what comes next, Ronald said at GDC. This is Ronald McDonald. This is the wizard that thinks a lot. He added that the system will deliver an order of magnitude leap. What the fuck does that mean? For ray tracing performance, and that the system will have meaningful gains in efficiency, scale, and visual ambition. So it's gonna be a new console. Cool. Like, that says nothing. I have a feeling that the next time we hear somebody talk about the PS6 from Sony, it's going to be Cerny in his lullaby voice going, okay, guys, so first of all, I'm going to put on my sweater and we're going to sit down. And as we sit down, I'm going to invite each one of y'all to be my neighbors. And as you're my neighbors, you're going to get to look inside the PS6 with me. And we're like, we're going to go to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, except it's Cerny's world. And he's talking about the PS6 and we're all going to glaze. Well, not y'all, me, who's not a PC spec guy at all, is just going to glaze over and go, more ray tracing, better graphics, higher frame rate. Cool. And like, that's, and y'all are going to be like, oh my God, he said this, he said that. And I'm like, that's great. But like,
there's your boy Steven with the 20 bomb.
Steven Leon with the 20 bomb. Holy crap. Hey, you know what? That is serendipitous. He hit Brap's podcast on here. So Brap got a gift while doing his own show. That's what's up.
That's hilarious.
That's what's up. I love that. Steven Leon, man, thanks for the gift, dude. Will777JP, Wooly Gamer, Lazarek, JTech TV, Toolman, Lone Gamer, Shadow of the Ghost 89, J Gamer UK. Dude, J Gamer UK finally got hit. That's cool. K-Med, Balabra, Maniolus got hit. Wizard 57, Brat Podcast, SS DeLong. That's funny. Antonio Cosera. All of y'all got hit. Man Overboard, Tap Out Time, J942. Hey, J942. I saw you in the Discord. Well, I saw that you're in the Discord. Stop by and chit chat sometime. Craven Van Draken. Dude, holy crud. It's only that Inate's here. This is true. Josh said, Thrifty, that road to PS5 with Cerny was only a thing because of COVID. Hey, listen, it worked out really well, though. It was really nice.
And it did work out really well.
It made people get their little guys got excited.
But like you said, whenever he speaks, though, he's showing you examples or showing you the product, and it's not just buzzwords.
Nope.
Like, people went to a PowerPoint presentation for this device at GDC and came out knowing nothing.
Yep.
And that's why I said that tells me you're talking about it too soon. So now, because you have nothing to say, you're going to generate T-shirts and sweatshirts for people to wear on social media and tell people they're jelly because they're not on the list. You know?
Yep.
And I'm like, no one cares, bro. I don't want a t-shirt. What I want
So the
is
guy with the yellow
good
chair got a
games.
hoodie, so that's better than a t-shirt. It was a hoodie.
He got both.
He got
He
both.
got yeah, he got the t-shirt and he got the hoodie. Yeah,
Oh,
he got the double pack, you
he
know.
got double stuff.
Yeah. He's on the get flued out list. So, you know, he gets all the goodies.
Oh man,
As he likes to remind us all the time on social
golly,
media.
the yellow chair in the background, him leaning just enough to get the yellow chair in, was probably the funniest self-own I've ever seen in my life.
It
Like,
was.
I saw that picture and I was like, wait, you're kidding, right? do, do you want people to think you're not part, or like, do you want people to think you're not biased anymore? Do you want, like, what are you going for here? Because all this says is corporate shill that is purchased. That's all it says.
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's why he made that ugly face on Twitter, you know, when got the code to play Soros early. And I was like, dude, we know you get that stuff. You're on Kind of Funny's podcast.
Right.
Like, we get it. Like, I'm not tripping, bro. Like, at this point, this is my problem with a lot of the people on their side, including him. Like, it's like, dude, I'm not mad at you, bro. I don't care. I am focused on good games. I'm not playing social media politics. I'm playing games, bro. Like, I'm not tripping at anybody who's playing that early right now. Like, you know, one of the other guys I know, he's a Sony playmaker, so he gets everything that PlayStation makes. So he has Soros, you know. And I was like, you know, he tried to be cryptic about it the other day and was like, well, I guess Pragmata, you know, and Replace is gonna have to wait. But like, didn't elaborate. I was like, dude, you got a Soros code. It's not that serious. Like, I don't know why everybody be trying to be funny about this. Like it's new that codes go out early. Like,
Yeah.
ooh, whoop de doo. Like, and it's like, yeah, but like five people are gonna watch your review. I don't care.
Right.
Everybody who is down to purchase Soros is already ready. The same way that when Replace went live at 7 a.m., I hit the button the
Oh,
moment
sure.
they let me purchase the product. Like, we know what we like, bro.
Yep.
We're not, you know, all we're waiting for is the drop date because we focus on playing games.
Uh-huh.
And that's the big problem with a lot of people on, you know, on their team, on social media, on, you know, a lot of the fanboys on their side. I'm like, look, man, y'all could be excited for a lot of stuff. Y'all could be excited for FanFest, but if you're not playing and supporting these titles, don't be mad when games continue to skip your device. And
Yep.
don't blame that on PlayStation. That's
Well,
on y'all.
and the other thing I was going to say when we were talking about the external focus that Xbox should be having on their new console, the
Hmm.
the main problems with the games and the main problems with the games on Xbox this generation weren't necessarily from inside the house. Yes, they have fallen through on delivering in the timely manner that they set forth, and there's been games that have been announced for 6, 7, 8 years that we still haven't seen the light of day. Some have been canceled, resurrected, canceled again. Like, so there's turmoil, but the big problems came when Baldur's Gate 3 was going to skip Xbox. The big
Hmm.
problems came when Black Myth Wukong did skip Xbox for a long time. And everything that went down was, hey, we can't optimize for this piece of shit system you have. Y'all aren't returning our calls. We don't know how to do this. And it works on PC and it works on PlayStation. We're not dealing with you. And like, you would think, as much as Jason Ronald thinks, you would think that this guy would go to these devs, externally speaking, and go, hey, I gotta know, where was the issue? How can we make it better? We're looking to do this hybrid. It's going to be more high end. It's going to be kind of this PC Xbox hybrid thing. So it's going to have a lot more memory. We're going to try to dump a lot of stuff in it. It's not going to be a budget buy. And we want to know how we can better assist you in getting your games to us day and date. That should have been the conversation with every single dev. And you should blast that from the rooftops so that developers are like, okay, they're listening. They are trying to fix this. They do realize how much of a pain in the ass it was to develop for the Series X and S. And I honestly think you could even approach Bethesda about it in this cycle, not for the next one, because they didn't start off as Xbox owned for this generation. So they came in still having to create and not being a full in-house studio, in-house company. So like you can even ask them, hey guys, listen, y'all's games keep coming out broken on our system and we publish your games. We need to make that not happen. What can we do differently? So like there's things that they should be doing that if they are doing them, they should be advertising them and not just giving us fluff that says, well, guys, we're working with our devs. No shit. Like, so that's kind of where this really stuck in my craw because I hate people saying crap just for the sake of saying it. It's really annoying. And with the regime change at Xbox, that was one thing that I was hoping would have gone with Sarah and Phil, was that need to just fill dead airspace and that need to talk and to act like you're saying something profound. I would have been happier if Booty would have come out and said, hey, listen, guys, we're still very early on. We're still keeping everything kind of in-house right now. We're about to be approaching other developers externally, getting their take and their feedback once the dev kits, whatever they're called, the stage one or alpha dev kits or whatever the hell they are, once those start going out, we're going to need that feedback, then we're going to improve and blah, blah, blah. I do, little side note that just popped into my ADHD brain, I do like that they're calling it Project Helix because I do think Asha is going to try to change a little bit of the DNA of Xbox, and they have been, starting with Phil Spencer going into Asha. It's why I don't think exclusives are coming back. It's why I don't think, at least not in the sense that they were, if at all. It's why I don't think they're really going to have a foot in the console space. But the Helix does, and Helix and the logo do speak to a change of DNA, and it's not a change back. I think that's where a lot of the Xbox creators and Xbox fans and folks on Twitter and, you know, on social media are getting it wrong. They think it's a change back, and I don't think it's a change back. What about Enate? Do you think they're going to be changing back to kind of that exclusivity? Do you think we're going to start seeing it? Do you think maybe Forza 6 is the hey, it's going to be exclusive, we're changing this, here's what it is? What do you think?
I mean, I think the reality is some of these small changes that have been happening, that they were really excited for on Twitter, like making the diamond achievement shinier, and some of the other little things where they're like, they're listening to feedback and they're giving us what we want, is a way to just placate people to, before this fan fest, to really understand there are business decisions that are ultimately going to have to be made, for the health of the brand. They don't have the buying power, and $1,000 plus device is not going to bring that back into the fold. So again, I don't know where this renewed thinking is coming from some people that Helix is going to be the starting ground. I think a lot of fanboys are making big mistakes believing they could go back to any form of real exclusivity, which is, some of them are being honest, because they know, like, real exclusivity, as like the word suggests, one device, is I think never happening again for them. I think that would be, that would be a way to kill off the brand entirely, right? The Xbox fan base just doesn't have that buying power anymore, to exclusively support a device. So ultimately, even if they pulled back from PlayStation, I don't think it would help, to be honest. That's been something I've seen on, social media and whatnot. And honestly, the only real thing I can see that bothers people about that is they're upset that PlayStation was in a position to pull back their tentpole titles from PC because they spent, years bragging about how Helix was going to play your games
Mm.
and our games, and we're still going to have access to your games. You can't pull your games from Steam. And PlayStation said, "You want to bet?" And now you have the retaliation, that mode that some Xbox guys are in, and they believe, hey, if we just pull it from back from PlayStation, it'll make people buy into our quote unquote ecosystem, right? And the reality is, like I tell people, I was like, PC has never been Xbox guys' friends. They PC has been bleeding the Xbox fan base since day one started. Um, so again, I don't know why there was this alliance between them because they were trying to drag PlayStation kicking and screaming to day one PC releases, which clearly did not work, right? Um, so now you're seeing like this desperation of like, well, if we're not going to get anything from them, they shouldn't get anything from us. But we clearly know, like you said, Fable, um, has already been announced. It's day one, right? You've got Forza, which has already been announced. It's coming a little bit later because the team just couldn't get it out on time. It's not really an exclusivity thing. It's literally just wasn't ready, which is, understandable. That's something new for the Forza team. Um, who was also, funny enough, working on Fable, right? Um, so yeah, I don't think it's going to happen the way a lot of fanboys want it to. Um, th- I think they've been listening to them just enough to placate them, and I
Mm.
think that the reality of what's going to be Xbox fanboys and like fans in general is like their reality is going to kind of, I feel like, be set in stone once this fan fest happens, right? If we get that, I feel like that's June is, you know, I'm pretty sure it's in June. Um, and then you got Summer Games Fest. I feel like the information's gonna have to start trickling out by then, and we'll kind of see what their direction really is. Because at FanFest, if you like that, the entire point of that is the quote unquote Xbox celebration, right? I joked about it at one point. I was like, what these guys really is for Asha to step out on stage like Erica Kirk with the pyrotechnics and, RKO a PS5 on stage and say, we're never putting another game on that platform again, and they go wild, even though
Yes.
that literally does nothing for them. But that's the state people are in, right? They're just in anger mode. They're like, screw it to the ponies. And I'm like, bro, you guys need to start thinking about benefits for yourself, not how to get one over on the other person who's happy with their console, who's happy with their platform. Think about the benefits for you. When she steps out on stage, you know what I want to hear? Hey, State of Decay is looking better than ever. We are predicting 10 out of 10s across the
Okay.
board. We are feeling super confident in
Sure.
what the team is delivering. They are delivering a game that is unprecedented, unlike
Hmm.
anything we've ever seen before. We have several games in the pipeline that are going to break the mold, that are going to do things better than ever. That's what I want to hear. That tell me that.
Well, now I
Keep
got
me in.
something for you though. I got something for you then. If that's what you want to hear, pay attention to the screen. Because if that's what you want to hear, I got something for you. This is the good
Yeah.
stuff. This is this is from Idle Sloth 84. Xbox Studios collaborations. The coalition is helping In Exile Entertainment on Clockwork Revolution on UE5. Blizzard Entertainment providing cinematic support for Playground Games Fable. Compulsion Games using the Activision mocap studio. Rare sharing multiple expertise from Sea of Thieves, helping Double Fine on Kiln. Obsidian Entertainment took sophisticated persistence world save technology from Undead Labs State of Decay 2, enhanced and used it in Grounded, improved technology, and now has sent back to Undead Labs for State of Decay 3. King and Mojang collaborated on Minecraft Blast, combines King's expertise with Mojang's Minecraft IP, or Mojang, sorry. Minecraft's in-game store technology was adopted into Flight Soft. Fuck, really? adopted into Flight Simulator, and that same technology, I don't think they should have put that one in there, later made its way into Starfield. Teams also share narrative tools, best practices, and other development approaches. So, I
So they're
mean,
finally adopting a proper in-house working strategy and building an internal pipeline and communication structure
that sounds
like
like what
we said
PlayStation's
they
been
should
doing
have
for
done.
years. That's just
Exactly. But and that's what I was saying. So they're finally following and learning how to use the formula and how you utilize your internal teams to work together, foster partnerships,
yep.
while competing internally with each other. They got to one up each other, but they also got to work together.
Nuts, man. Like, and then they put shit in here. And this is an Xbox fanboy. He says it in his bio. He says Xbox news guy, Xbox skip ahead insider. Like this is an Xbox dude. He was on my timeline. Didn't even like. I don't even know who the hell this is. I just thought it was funny. And then I start reading it, and there's things he should have left off. Like, there's things that he thinks are victories that aren't necessarily. If anybody's tried to operate anything inside the Minecraft store, you'll know how much of a bullshit store that is,
Yeah.
especially on the Switch. It's awful, damn near unusable. Uh, so that's not the win he thinks it is. Stephen Leon, member for 22 months. If Xbox pulls back from PS, it will be detrimental. Game Pass is the problem. 70 billion for $1 trillion company. If bots, hang on.
Is a drop in the bucket. I
Yep.
think it just yeah.
For $1 billion company is a drop in the bucket. Yeah, for $1 trillion company. Yeah. So this is. It doesn't matter. They are contractual workers. That's true. Zero shit.
God, yeah, that's a whole nother thing, dude. The
Uh,
contractual thing for
yeah.
Xbox, bro. You need some long term, you need some longevity up in there, building,
Well, shit.
some confidence in these studios,
And
dude.
look,
Like it's like you're never going to get to the level that some of these other studios are at when some of these studios that PlayStation has had, some of these people have worked together for 15 to 20 plus years. Like if you watch the Hall of Fame inductee for the guy that was previously the head of Naughty Dog before Neil Druckmann, he talks about the internal turmoil and the way it tore at them to switch modes into doing Uncharted and then eventually The Last of Us. And I'm like, that's what it takes to do something and to switch your studio into a completely new mode. Like they contemplated so hard because you're talking about going from Jack and Daxter to Uncharted.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like that was a huge departure for them. And then he approached them. He says, "Guess what? We're gonna go darker. We're going to go deeper than we've ever gone before. We're going to go into territory that is scary, that is psychological, that is in a world that's broken down and changed forever." And it was like, again, like, yes, we all know what those games are now, right? They have established lore, there's TV shows, right? But
mm-hmm.
when you are creating something from the ground up that you're unlike anything your studio has ever done, that was the cool part that I took when he was having that conversation on stage, accepting that Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm like, see, that's what it takes, though. That's when gamers don't even know about what the gamers don't even know about the game, when gamers haven't heard the words, when you don't even know the name of, whatever it is you want to create, but you have that idea, right? But to take that idea and to turn it into something beloved and a major franchise, and change of pace for your studio, that's the type of stuff you only get with long-term mentorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neil talked about how scared he was when he was first approached about that. Like, what do you mean we're gonna do something different? Like, what? Like, you want to what is Uncharted? How do you do, like, what? And then we went from the original, and then they went crazy with two, right? We had, my man hanging off the y- the train in the beginning. That PlayStation started doing things like you've never seen before when they were literally in their prime and just flourishing, right? And it's like, again, that's what you need, though. That confidence for that team at Naughty Dog to go to that next level came from the mentorship and the time that some of these people have been there and the confidence in that direction to direct that studio to a next level. And that, like, that's why I said contractual work is not going to work. It's not going to work for you that way. It's not. You don't have any loyalty and, build up long enough to generate that kind of confidence in a studio. And they're not the only ones, right? We're not saying PlayStation's the only one that does it. A ton of people have. There's a ton of people at CD Projekt Red that have worked together since they were like teenagers out of high school. Like,
Well, we saw
again,
that
and
with
they created
Ubisoft
these
too. Like
products.
when Ubisoft, even when Ubisoft does their layoffs, it's generally speaking, like when so the way it works is Ubisoft does a layoff, and then about 6 to 9 months later, you see, oh hey, these 10 people who worked on 12 projects with Ubisoft have now gone and created their own studio, or BioWare. These 5 people who created Mass Effect or helped create Mass Effect or systems within Mass Effect, hey, they're going to start their own studio called Archetype Entertainment. Like, and that's generally because, like you said, these are leaders who have mentored their successors, who have like built their teams, and you don't get that opportunity with contractual workers. You just don't. It's contractual workers are just that. They're not actually part of the company, so to speak, even though they work for you and they work on. So I work in HVAC. When we have to get new wires ran at a house for a system because maybe it's old wiring or not up to code or whatever, we have to contract out an electrician to come in and do that. That electrician is allowed to be on our jobs. He is there representing our completed work, because if something's wrong with it, they're not going to call him, they're going to call us. Like, that's how that works. But at the end of the day, we're giving that guy a flat fee to come and do a job under our license and under our new construction license. And so it's there's really no skin on off of his back. He's coming there just to do a job and then to leave. You don't get to build any kind of repertoire or any kind of connection with that person because they're just there to do a job. That's it. They're not there to actually be a part of a team. They're not there to necessarily buy into the vision and have a passion about the game or whatnot. And I'm not saying that every contractual worker that works for Microsoft doesn't have a passion for the game, and that the developers have no passion or this and that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you are a contractual worker, you can go find another job quickly, fast, and in a hurry. It's the way freelancers work in gaming already. Like, I got a buddy of mine who is working on a mobile title right now. Pretty cool stuff. But like, that's all I can say about it. But he's working on a mobile title right now, and he's really excited about it. He's started working for this company, started helping him out, doing stuff like that. And it's kind of right in his wheelhouse. And so he's excited. He's a part of their team. He's helping build the characters, the graphics, the artwork. He's in it. And that's really cool. It's different than just somebody who you're coming in and saying, hey, I need you to build me like 4 characters. I need you to build me a combat system. And then in 6 to 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, whatever it is, we're going to go ahead and get rid of you. 18 months, and then we'll move on. Hey, if you do a good enough job, we might offer to extend your contract.
And that's the thing that I think they need to adopt. They need to stop the contract to fire and start working on contract to hire. Like, they need to start visiting that, because now you might have had somebody, like you said, who's really talented, really built a camaraderie with the team and really fits well, that honestly you should keep on board and you should bring into the fold. And it's like, if you're not even considering that because you want to stick so wholeheartedly to this specific contract window, you're just letting go of talent left, right, and center. So yeah, they got to be careful with that.
They really do. And speaking, you were talking a little bit before about IPs, and I pulled up this post from Hunter, and it was Call of Duty playtime and revenue dropped significantly in 2025. And I thought it was interesting because there was a rumor this last week. One of the few times I looked at my phone over the past like week and a half, related to gaming at least, there was this rumor that Asha is wanting to take Call of Duty out of Game Pass because that supposedly hurt the sales. No shit. But look at this. I thought this was interesting. So this is this is data from last year. The playtime and the revenue were both down significantly for Call of Duty. And, to be fair, for free-to-play games in general, it was down. But premium games was actually up. So those are games like, it came out, Battlefield 6. Those are games where you pay, it's a multiplayer title, and you go in, you pay for it, and that's how you play. So premium games actually had an uptick. I think a lot of that has to do with Arc Raiders. A lot of that has to do with Battlefield 6. What was the other game that came out last year? It was Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, and I thought there was another multiplayer title that was like $40, $50 that came out last year that did pretty well.
You're talking about Arc Raiders?
No, I already mentioned Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, and I thought there was one more. I guess not. But those two games provide an uptick in that premium game space. Call of Duty, though, their playtime dropped significantly. First year with an Xbox ownership, full year of Xbox ownership, game released under their banner, on Game Pass, and the drop was insane. Crazy. And the biggest drop came in their revenue from PC at 64%. That's fucking wild. So I don't give a rat's rip how many studios you have talking to each other. I don't care how many people are helping with what else, who does what. If the games aren't landing with your audience, you have a massive problem on your hands as the quote-unquote largest publisher in the game. And I think that's where the problem comes in. That's why folks are constantly looking to games like Fable. Fable has to be good. It has to come out. It has to hit. Forza Horizon 6. Oh my God, it's going to do great. It's going to be amazing. It's the Forza team. They're going to do wonderful with it. Great. What's Halo giving? Well, we don't fucking know. The question marks is all it's giving. What about State of Decay 3? You mentioned it earlier. We have no idea. What does it look like? We don't really know. How's it running? Who knows? Is it good? Maybe. They're not giving anything of substance, and they're just constantly stringing along the fan base. And it's to the point where I want them to be just like Sony in the sense that just shut up. As annoying as it is to not know a freaking thing for 100% certainty because Sony never talks about shit anymore, it's kind of nice because all I'm focusing on now are the games. I don't have to worry about what exec said what, or people hitting up a timeline or coming into a video talking bullshit. I don't have to worry about that. Sony just keeps their mouth shut. Here's the games. Have fun with them. If they suck or they don't make it to you, sorry about your luck. It wasn't good enough, didn't pass our smell test. It's gone now. I don't remember who it was in the Discord earlier in the week. I think it was yesterday I brought that up, that Sony has been very silent on the Bluepoint stuff. The studio website's gone, but we still have zero actual official word from Sony themselves outside of leaks and stuff. But we still don't have an actual word from Sony on Bluepoint Studios.
And we probably never will, to be honest.
I find that very interesting. And somebody brought it up. They were like, listen, Sony doesn't have to say anything anymore. They're done with that. It stirs up. And they brought it up in the sense that it's better that way because you can't be mad about a game getting canceled if you knew nothing about it. Shuhei Yoshida talked about that most of the games that we don't even know that get canceled. If one game gets made, 9 others got canceled before that one got made. That's crazy. That's a big fucking number. And I'm sure some of those, we'd be in a board meeting, and if we heard the pitch, we'd be like, dude, I can't wait to play that. And it got canceled. It could have been your favorite game in your life, and you never got a chance to play it because it got canceled. But you're not mad about it because you don't know. Like, as an Xbox fan, and we have an Xbox guy in the chat, we got Raichi in here, and as an Xbox fan, it really makes me wonder how they can defend statements like this or even get excited about statements like this. I would be pissed off to no end if Sony came out again and said something to this effect of, guys, the new console's in the works. We're working really closely with our dev teams. Okay? What? You wasted my time to tell me that? Like, tell me, give me something of substance. Hey guys, we're working on a game. It's the reason why I'm a little frustrated about Intergalactic, because that game got announced probably a year and a half too early, maybe even 2 years too early. Same thing with Tides of Annihilation. Apparently that game is like coming out in a year, and it was announced a year and a half ago. Like, be quiet. Like, you don't have to say anything if you have nothing to say. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have to speak. You could just shut the fuck up. Like, that's an option.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're never gonna get that from Xbox though. They've clearly stated they're continuing the speak as much as possible, send out party favors, fly out the gang, throw up the X sign while we eat breakfast together. They have clearly put out the word. Matter of fact, they announced a world tour for FanFest. So whether they have nothing to say or not, we're gonna party like it's 1999. So
coming to a city near you.
Yeah, a city near you. They have adopted their stance. They are going to keep talking. They are going to keep making noise. And I'm like, you know what? Your certain parts of your fan base love that, and that's fine. Like I said, the only noise I'm interested in is when you ready to show me the games. That's all I care about, and that goes for everybody, right? That goes for Nintendo. That goes for PlayStation. Whatever. Um, I do. Like I said, I wish PlayStation would speak a little bit more. That's what we've had that conversation, and that ship has sailed. They've decided to say absolutely nothing. So, like I said, I got to keep judging on the games, and like I said, as long as they're not disappointing me in that wheelhouse and they're tightening up the ship, I've heard enough when I heard, the fireside chat and stuff like that. And then, I'm seeing the results of some of those decisions. And, at least there's that conversation, I'm right? Seeing the results of some of, because, when they're in the fireside chat and they're speaking with shareholders and things that need to happen, like, they're going to be 100%, right? That's not a conversation with just anybody. You're talking about the people who are in control of, directing your money where it needs to go. So thankfully it looks like, PlayStation has pulled back and they're, getting their ducks in a row and getting realigned back to that, tentpole, single player story driven title that they're known for. We will see. But yeah, like you said, I'm definitely ready to see some more on some of these other titles. We were told last year we were going to see more of Intergalactic, and we have not. So yeah, like, I still hold them accountable. Like, don't say nothing. Again, like you said, if you ain't got nothing to say, but if you say something and you tell me I'm gonna see something later this year, I expect to see it.
Right.
So
exactly.
Don't like that meme. Why would you show it to me if I couldn't have it then? Like, come on, man. So yeah, I definitely think they got to retighten up. Like I said, I've spoken about it before. I'm extremely disappointed in the pipeline for some of these studios. I know what happened, but it better not happen again. Like, that's where I'm at.
I don't think they can afford for it to happen again.
Well, exactly. I don't think so. And it's like you were afforded a bunch of this window and this leeway because, well, your main competition was messing up so bad that it made your mess ups not seem as crazy. So, like I said, Sony Ben going this whole time without Sony Ben is not gonna release a single game during the PS5 generation.
Isn't that fucking wild?
That is literally insane to me.
This is
Insane.
like,
And then it just pisses me
damn.
off more. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Days Gone, it just pisses me off more that at the very least they could have just worked on Days Gone 2, because I had a ton of cool ideas for that. I thought they could have expanded on that wildly and done great things with that, and we would be getting a game from them this generation. Even if it was just a sequel to Days Gone. And it's like, but we're gonna get nothing.
Josh just said, nope, Bend is a support studio at the moment. Shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like that's
Ugh.
crazy. Like, they were supposed to be one of your main studios, and then Naughty Dog, who was also one of your main workhorses, they were supposed to be one of your main studios when they were back and forth between the Uncharted and the Last of Us series. They were stuck and kind of pigeonholed for a while, dealing with factions, and then we basically got told they spent 7 years developing this product, and then it's never going to see the light of day. Like, again, you cannot do that.
Yeah, when that developer came out, when the director came out and said we were pretty much done, I'm like, are you fucking kidding? At that point,
it was gonna be revealed in 2 days, and they ripped the rug out.
So at that point, just release the damn game. Like, just like, oh, so what if you can't keep it active? Like, just like, I'm sorry. At that point, if it's playable, if it looks good, like, just release it. Like,
I honestly think, I don't know who said it. I don't know who had the authority to pull the rug that hard, but honestly, I think they overestimated what people wanted and what they could have got away with. Like you said, you could have tightened it up if it was going to require too much support. I know people who are still playing factions.
Yes.
On PS3. Like, bro, we don't need 10,000 pounds of support. People really genuinely enjoyed that game for what it was, and they didn't need nothing else. They didn't need battle passes. They didn't need all this stuff. You don't got to give me all that. Just give me what you gave me before for PS5, and I'll be good. Like, but I feel like they got caught up in thinking about battle passes and, DLC, or, more content, and then they got scared away, and they were like, all right, we're just going to cut the whole thing. And it's like, look, dude, all right, that's all well and good, because now they're working on 2 titles that are single player. You've got Intergalactic and probably the next Uncharted, but I'm like, we would have been 2 for 2 this generation, if you didn't sit there and waste all that time on a title none of us are ever going to get to play.
Correct. Because
like,
at this point, Santa Monica is going to have, 3 titles, maybe 4 this gen. If they release another small one, you're going to have Gorilla with 3. 2.5.
Yeah, I was going to say more like 2.5.
2.5. Well, just... that game...
And look, granted, they make some of the biggest budget, most complex story-driven games.
Sure.
If I got 2 from everybody,
yes,
we'd be in a good place.
That's
but
Insomniac
is hard carrying right now,
dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Insomniac is like, y'all. So Sucker Punch is one that I wish we'd get 2 out of, but we're not, and I that's fine.
Yeah, they're I get them, right? Like, they have stated, like, they don't want to do the double thing. And I'm like, cool, look, if you're going to admit to me you just don't feel like you could scale, then don't do it.
Sure.
Right? I don't want you splitting the team on this. I'd love, like you said, for them to do the twofer if they ever feel like they can scale to that level. But if you feel like you can't, don't.
Right, and just keep giving us a game with a good multiplayer mode. Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's still 2 things.
The support they've provided for Ghost of Yotei has been fire.
Right.
So,
good. Way to go.
But if you're gonna do one thing, you gotta know you better knock it out of the park. That's all I'm saying, because you got one shot.
Hey, listen, they might not be the studio that gives you 4 games in this generation like an Insomniac, but they are a studio that gave you a very profitable game that cost $60 million to make. So like, indeed. That's not awful when you think about it. That's, hey, it's like when you're at a job and you're like the middle of the road salesperson, but you're never going to get fired because you do your job well. You're efficient. You do what you have to do. You get it done. The bosses like you. The spotlight is never really on you, too hot at least. And they just come to work and do their job. That's what Sucker Punch is to me. Now, Insomniac is the freaking top of the line lead sales guy, always there, always going to be in number one, and just coming out punching. And then Santa Monica and Naughty Dog, I kind of have as like a back and forth type deal. But that's always kind of how, well, not always. Since the PS4, that's how I've kind of ranked the studios. But Insomniac is big. Insomniac is big. They don't give them a bigger budget. Let them be a profit machine. Exactly. That's kind of what I was leaning. Like $60 million. You made a game. I think the last total we saw was $5 million. Was that? Somebody correct me. I think it was $5 million for Ghost of Yote. I think. Or $5 million. I might be getting the news about Crimson Desert confused. Anyways.
Games... But I will say, Insomniac was smart that their other studio, which is another thing that a lot of these studios need to do, is not in somewhere where the cost of living is high. Their other studio is back where I'm from in North Carolina. It is near right where Morgan is. Morgan has driven by their studio several times and fangirled every time because she's such a big Insomniac girl. She has debated several times about stopping and trying to get through the front door. But I told her, I was like, girl, you about to get banned.
Wear her badge, wear her lanyard that has the PS logos on it, wear her shirts and everything. 3.3 million, thank you. Like
for real.
But
that's a smart thing to do. Because, Cali is costing a lot of these places a ton. And honestly, at one point the talent was concentrated there, but Nelson all over the place. CD Projekt Red's second main studio is in Boston.
Yeah.
You can build a studio almost anywhere now.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. And the people in the Midwest, man, we want it. You bring it over. We want that.
Absolutely.
We want those places. We want that tech. We want those type of jobs because we want to keep our revenue in state. And
I'm gonna tell you now. If somebody told you one of the biggest, baddest dev teams was from Wisconsin, would you care? No. Who cares where they're from?
I'd be like, hey, I bet some of these devs can relate with the things that I deal with on a daily basis. This will be kind of cool.
Exactly.
Because Silicon Valley doesn't know what it's like. Like you said, I want to see a character that's trying to pay bills. Like shit. I want to know that there is some 30 to 40-year-old angst in this shit. Like, let's see what we can get there. Speaking of that, I do want to get to some other topics because we do have some games to talk about. This show, and for lack of better words, with pseudo co-host Enate, co-host in all but name, we love talking about games. We like playing games. Fuck all the noise that anybody tries to tell you about people who come on this podcast or myself. We play games. And there's some really good ones coming out and ones that I want to bring attention to. The first one, Mouse PI for Hire. The only negative thing that I have seen about this game is that the controls are a bit clunky. The controls, it's all operated off of a wheel and there's no aim. It's just fire and go. If you want to use a grenade, this is one thing that Jake talked about. If you want to use a grenade, you have to use the weapon wheel, swap to the grenade, then throw the grenade, then swap back to your gun. And it's a little clunky. We've played games on this channel. Yes, we have. And so listen to this. And here's the sales pitch for this game. And I love it. This is from Gaming Bolt. I don't necessarily like their reviews over anybody else's or anything like that. It's just the first article I saw that wasn't giving a full-on, like, hey, here's a full review of the game. So, Jack Pepper isn't a mouse who backs down from a fight, but he might have bitten off more than he can chew in his latest case. With that statement right there and that picture, I'm in regardless of anything else now. So that's actually what sold me, because I can't wait for Spider-Man Noir to come out on Amazon. Not because I think it's going to be amazing, but because that genre is freaking awesome. I love that old detective feel. It's never easy being a world-weary private detective, especially so if you're Jack Pepper, whose need for cheese sends him down investigative paths that others shy away from in good old Mouseburg. But sometimes there's a case that changes the way even Pepper sees the world. Or at least that's what the latest trailer for Fumi Games' Mouse PI for Hire wants us to think. It's a great setup for the upcoming shooter, showcasing exactly what put Jack up on investigation. And let's just look at it. Would you look at that? Because I'm going to get copyrighted. Hang on. Uh-oh. Where's the sound?
Some falls in quiet rooms with friendly voices and fondue bottles. Mine started a few weeks back. The sky was just the exit wound.
I love the Brooklyn, Boston, upstate New York type of accent and drawl that there is on this character. I think that's a really good touch, because when I think of these noir detective films, that's exactly what I think of. He was in the room and Dollface was sitting over. Like, that type of thing is really cool. And like, I was just about to say that the fact that Troy is able to do that kind of a voice without sounding like he is somebody trying to do that voice is pretty cool. Like, this doesn't sound like any of his other characters. Hero Down Under, yes, I get that too. You'd prefer to watch it as a show. I get that.
It began with a call. Routine. Familiar. Wanda from the Mouseburg Herald. Usually she swings by the office with a lead. If it pans out, she hears it first. Simple, really. She gets her story, I get a few bucks to stockpile cheese, and for a moment, Mouseburg gets to breathe easy. But that day was different. She was tight-lipped. Meat on sight, details later. Had to be someone big. Recognizable. The kind that only says, oops, when they remember they're mortal too. Something within me. Old instinct, maybe.
I absolutely love the music in here. That jazz band feel is awesome. And like I was saying, if you watch the Game Ranks review, supposedly it was a full-on live band that did this. So that makes it even better, because you're actually hearing a live band performance, not something that was put through like a filter or an AI machine or anything like that, which I think is really awesome. All right, sorry, we're almost done.
Said, turn back. Let this one go. That this case was more trouble than it was worth. But, well, trouble is what I do.
All right, so that is this title. That's the story trailer. It's the launch trailer. I am extremely excited for this title. I'm excited to hear the story, for the mystery behind it. I want to know what's going on. Like Hero said, I'd love to watch this as a TV series, and I don't watch TV. But this is something that if they came out afterwards, after introducing me to the IP through video games, and said, hey, we're going to do a TV series about this, I would watch it 100%. Because it's perfect. I love it. I love everything about this. The premise, the story, the genre, the time frame, the timepieces, everything. Awesome. And the fact that it's freaking black and white is a wonderful choice. Enate, what do you think about this game? You said you're getting it, but are you super excited about it, or are you getting it because you're addicted to buying video games?
No, I mean, I'm interested in it. I mean, I've I like the combination of, like you said, the things that they put together in the game. Like you said, that old Steamboat Willie kind of vibe. Um, it's the detective. Like you said, that kind of like you said, Charlene was at the speakeasy, and
Yeah.
like all that little thing. I love all that stuff. So I'm excited to just kind of see the world after I have watched some of the game development diaries, and how they made some of the choices they made, and the way that you play the game, the way you move around the open world kind of portion of the game and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm considerably interested in it, and I mean, obviously, being an indie title, it's going to be a little bit cheaper.
It's
So yeah, no,
$30, man. It's like
yeah,
it's $30. So it's $30. Pragmata, I think, is 50. Is 50 or 60? I think. Hang on.
I think
Pragmata is
I think
50.
Pragmata is 60, and then it's 70 for the deluxe.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. $60. So like these games that are coming out, that's one of the other topics tonight is Pragmata. These games that are coming out at these lower price points makes the whole $70 game freak out that myself included had seem almost laughable. Almost. It's And the reason I say that is because we have an example at the end of this month in Saros, a game that probably shouldn't be $70, that I'm going to pay $70 for, but it shouldn't be. But yet I see a game like Pragmata from Capcom that I would be probably more inclined to see them charge 70 for, but I feel like I'm getting it for a bargain at 60. Does that make sense? Like, it's like Josh has said, I'm enjoying seeing these developers and these companies explore these different price points and almost valuing their games more accurately, if that makes sense. Like, and I think that comes with sales data and stuff like that. Like Capcom probably sees, hey, a game this size, this type of vibe, whatever, probably not going to be able to get $70 for it, but we can definitely get 60. That's probably from pricing data and whatnot. So the more data they get, the better they realize, like Hero said, the better they realize their market and do all of that. And so,
Well, you often stand to gain more profit by pricing it appropriately rather than pricing it higher, hoping to gain more from the density of the price and not the amount of sales that you get. You can be plenty successful at varying price points. I mean, we saw that with was it the game everybody was going crazy that broke all the stores when it launched. So I'm not a fan of it, but
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. The side scroller that everybody was waiting for the sequel for.
Silk Song.
Yeah, Silk Song, that
Dude.
that game. So it launched at like $20, right, or something like that. And it sold like crazy. Like they broke like millions of sales in 2 days.
Yep.
Like, so, and they're plenty happy with what they've done, and it took them forever to develop that game.
But even that game, dude, the honeymoon phase wore off, and I thought it was really funny because, like, after the first few weeks, maybe couple weeks, you didn't hear about it anymore. And I had buddies who, like, they took their Switch with them everywhere just because they wanted to be able to play it. And then all of a sudden, I talked to my friend one day, and I was like, man, how's Silk Song been? He's like, dude, I dropped that damn thing. I had 50 something, 60 hours in it. Couldn't get past certain spots. Was tired of it, blah, blah. I was like, dude, just last week you were telling me how great the game was. Yeah, no, it's not that good. No. And it was real strange how, like, the people who just bought the game because of hype, like a couple of them, at least that I talked to, really felt like, whoops, probably shouldn't have bought that game because of hype. Like, but anyways, that was just a side thing.
No, but I feel like that game was also obviously it's a victim of the prior game's success.
Yes.
But also, again, something that I've told you that I personally don't care about. But a lot of people have kind of tried to enter that market where they are obsessed with difficulty or difficult games, and being like feeling super, super proud or accomplished that they did it. But then, like I said, when they don't, though, you don't hear anything, right? The game just falls off the radar and people
Let's
just
go!
stop playing it, you know? Like, I know somebody, like you said, who's still playing it. And, you know, they mentioned they were a huge fan, um, of the series. But even they're getting stuck constantly and things of that nature. And it's like, at some point, this is a weird thing. This is leading into a whole nother discussion. But some gamers, man, they just need to admit when it's like it's just too hard. It's okay. Like I see way too often on social
I don't
media
know why that's a problem.
people,
Shit.
bro, I really don't. I really
Hero and I
don't.
are over here talking about story mode in games. We don't give a shit.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people have gotten so obsessed with that to the point where like people are talking trash, and like bothered when someone wants to play on an easier difficulty
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's like, dude, it's not changing your thing. Like I seen somebody recently get mad because Crimson Desert is looking at difficulty modes, right? And I'm like, well, the game right now has some pretty significant hard checks at certain intervals, right? And yeah, for someone out there who has the perfect formula or played the game in this really specific way and has everything they needed, and their skill set, if it's their skill set, fine, cool. Just the way certain things are going to be easy for me, like, and other stuff is going to be hard for others. Like, I'm really good at racing games. I have had people plenty of times ask me, how the heck did you do that challenge from the prior week? Or on Forza, right? Forza has these things where when you're doing some of the modes, you play like the hardest version of the AI. Like they're no joke. They will slam you in the wall. They will like they play dirty. They do not care. Like, and if you let them get out ahead, you are not catching them. Like they will smoke you. So I've had people ask me that. And it's like it's just a different level of driving, right? But I understand that that's a genre I'm good at, right? And some people are really good at fighting games, right? So on and so forth. And it's like some people just there's become like instead of creating, I guess what I would say, like a camaraderie in just enjoying games however you want. A lot of people have kind of gotten caught in that mode where they're overly looking for that accomplishment, and then it's like when they do get it, it's like now you're ready to shit on other people who haven't done it or don't look forward to it. And I
Yeah.
always tell people, enjoy it however you want, but stop worrying about how someone else is enjoying it. Like somebody was saying how Crimson Desert getting difficulty settings is going to compromise the vision that they had for the game. And I'm like, dude, lower health bars and the person and the boss not spamming you 67 times is not going to lower the experience. Like you don't have to play on it. You can leave the difficulty setting right where you started it, and you
Mm.
never have to change it, and your experience will be right where it is. Stop. I don't understand get this obsession with people worried about other people's experiences with this stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, not to get too far away from it, but yeah, like you said, the thing with Silk Song, like you said, when that honeymoon phase disappeared and people kind of got into the do the real work of it, a lot of people fell off. A lot of people dropped the game, but we have no way to know how that works, right? Other than looking at people, looking at the percentage, right, of completion for certain trophies or so on and so forth. And you're like, dang, a lot of people got stuck on this third boss and just dropped the game, you know? And it's like, while some people might think
Yep.
that's funny and somebody out there enjoys that, and they're like, yeah, I got past it. It was no problem. All right, cool. But how do you feel as a game developer that the rest of this game that you developed isn't experienced by 70% of your player base? That's probably a problem. Like, like people were freaking out. Just if you probably seen it, even though you're not playing it, but people were freaking out when they lowered the health of like two of the early game bosses in Crimson Desert. I'm like, dude, they lowered the health because those are like the first two bosses you fight. Like they were just too hard, and it's okay to make an adjustment. It's fine, my guy. Trust me, there's bosses in this game that will two shot you. No problem. They got you covered, I promise.
Yep.
Like, but the first two bosses in the game don't need to mollywop you into oblivion and do not pass go, do not collect $200. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, it's okay. Like, so yeah, I mean that's
I
been a
mean,
big thing.
and I've always said one of my favorite parts about Metaphor was that if you were getting just wrecked by a boss repeatedly, and
Hmm.
I mean repeatedly, it would stop you after about your fifth time of restarting and going, would you like us to lower the difficulty for you? Like, hey man, no shame. We have difficulty options. Do you want
No,
us to lower
no
it for
shame.
you real quick?
Because
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times gamers only look at it from a very selfish point of view. Like, I want to fight this boss. If you want to fight the boss 56 times and figure out his
then
patterns,
press
be
no.
my guest. Yeah,
That's
be my guest, bro. I'm gonna hit the skip button, or I'm gonna lower his health to 5 and beat the brakes off of him,
right.
and I'm gonna keep moving, and I'm gonna experience the rest of this game, and we're gonna call it great, and we're
Yeah.
good. Like, and you and your, like I said, that person's individual experience doesn't change it. Like Josh says, he blames Dark Souls, and I'm like, yeah, same. Those a lot of those people got obsessed with, overly difficult or even weird stuff in Dark Souls. Like, I've complained to my friend that like really loves the Soul series. I'm like, dude, one of my biggest hated things about that series is how bad hit zones uh became like a rite of passage.
Right.
Like, it was funny that you could roll into the boss like underneath his sword where he should hit you, but he doesn't
Well,
because
because
the
they're
bad hit
iframes.
detection was a
They're
thing.
just it's iframes. It's just iframes. It's iframes and hitboxes. That's all it is. Once you find the
Yeah,
iframe in the hitbox, you're good. You can just beat every boss. And I'm like, man,
yeah,
I don't want to have to die 85 times to figure out that. I just
exactly. Because ultimately, if you had the determination, you were enjoying it, you could push back, you could push through any of these, right? But the point is, again, people keep
true.
forgetting part of game design is you want people to experience the game you
Yes.
designed.
Which is why I've
Like,
always said like my baby's first Souls game or Souls like or Souls light because it was really mine is Stellar
yeah,
Blade. Like for all intents and purposes, that game took the punishing bosses and the punishing combat of a Souls style and made it extremely palatable.
agreed.
Did I get wrecked repeatedly by certain bosses? Absolutely. There were certain just regular aggro the regular
Oh
mobs
yeah, yeah.
that
There was regular
that
mobs that
would
would two
wreck
piece you
me.
if you got caught slipping.
Yeah, the ones that had the gun for the head. If that thing hits you twice with its gun, you're dead. You were done. Because that sniper would kick your rear end to the ground. And like,
But yeah, I agree. Stellar Blade was that for me too, and I told you that before you had started it because I had already hit the platinum,
uh-huh,
and I was like, bro, this is the prime. And I told you originally, I don't know if you remember the conversation, but I told you I was like, Stellar Blade is the perfect example of a harder game that feels fair. I feel like when I die,
yes.
or I feel like it's my fault. I didn't hit that parry, and that parry
Yep.
was fair. It wasn't a parry that was so fast that the human eye can't see it. Like, it wasn't
There were a
some
couple
cheesy
chains that were some.
nonsense.
There were a couple chains that the combos were a little annoying, but
Yeah,
I never. And usually it was like because they changed it up. It was like you got it timed just right for the one hit and the second hit, and then all of a sudden it was an overhead attack versus a swipe, and you're like, oh shit, whoops. Like, but like you said, I never felt it's the same. It's the same thing I have with any game that I play. Roguelikes. I don't hate roguelikes. I hate roguelikes that don't let me progress and that make it feel like I just wasted time.
exactly.
Those are the things that I hate, which is why I'm actually excited to see what Saros does, because with Saros, it's supposed to be more respecting of the player's time.
Yep.
And that's what I want. That's why Splintered Fate is such a damn good Souls like or a roguelike, because every single time you die, you can, or like almost every time you die, you can go and buy stuff, and you can go and upgrade, and you can get permanent unlocks, and you can get new weapons and new special abilities, and it's always progressing your character. It's the same thing with Stellar Blade. I felt like everything I did in Stellar Blade was always progressing me. And they put save spots relatively often. I never felt like, oh man, I just lost all of that work. Now I got to go back and do it all over again and blah, blah. There was one spot in the desert where you had to go and take out this big, massive beam cannon. And I think, my dog's been left outside. Whoops. And that big, massive beam cannon, you had to approach it where you hid behind like debris, and then it would fire, it would kill the debris, and you had to end up, sorry, I'm trying to get my dog inside. You had to end up hiding behind it and moving to the next one, and then going forward. And that little challenge killed me quite a bit. But like, for the most part, every single time I died, I could pinpoint, hey, I did that to myself. And even in that scenario, I just didn't know what the puzzle was. So, anyways, but there's another game coming out towards the end of the month. We talked about it a little bit tonight. Pragmata.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, I mean, it's coming out in 2 days or a day.
Pragmata doesn't come out
2
tomorrow.
days.
It comes out on the 28th, I thought.
Pragmata comes out on the 17th.
No, it doesn't.
It absolutely does.
I thought it came out like a day before Sorrows.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. How the hell am I supposed to play 3 games at once? Okay. Well,
It comes out on the 17th.
all right, guys. Well, F it. I quit. I hate gaming now.
That's why we were running the joke. That's why we were running the joke all week when we were like, and Morgan had tweeted, "How am I supposed to play all these games at once?" And she was like rubbing, like it was like a meme where she's like rubbing her head and like trying not to pull her hair out.
That's like, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then you're talking about her. She started a new playthrough of Cyberpunk with the PSSR 2.0 update.
Oh, because that was smart.
She's knee deep in that right now. So
of course she is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a wild ride right now, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I really thought I had like a.
Nope.
I thought I had time.
As you know, as Die Hard would say, "Welcome to the party, pal."
Dude, I did not freaking realize that. Thankfully, Mouse PI for Hire is 20 levels. They're going to be smaller levels, so maybe I could beat that one pretty quickly. Pragmata was
that's what's pretty good about a lot of these is a lot of them are not more than about 10 to 12 hours long. So like, I mean, I know you're not playing this game, but you know, like I said, Replaced came out for me first.
I played the demo. I just couldn't get into the art style, and it was a little too slow in the movement for me. Like,
okay, yeah, that's fair.
I played I still have the demo on like my PC right now from Steam. I just couldn't get into it. I tried it because y'all were talking it up a bit, and I was like, man, it's a little too. It has the same problem that the Souls combat does for me. It's just too damn slow. Like, the movement in a game will screw me up more than anything. It's why I really liked Neo 3's Shinobi, because it was so much faster than anything else that I had played in a Neo title. Because I had played Neo 1 and I'd played Neo 2. Didn't beat them. Didn't get close to beating them, but I've played them through various services or renting them or what have you. And so, actually, I don't think I played Neo 1. I played Neo 2. But the combat in Souls games is generally slow. And I don't like that. I don't like the feeling. I want to be a badass. I want to take that big ass sword and swing it around like it's a toothpick, because that's fun. Yeah. And so with Replaced, it didn't even feel like it was unrealistic, or like it was not unrealistic. Sorry, like it was going for the hyper realistic of, well, it's a big axe, so it's gonna make you a great deal slower, and you're gonna have to swing it this way and blah blah. It just the side-scrolling movement of it just felt weird, and it felt just a little too slow. That's why I didn't pick it up. But with Pragmata, That comes out in 2 days, apparently. Shit.
Yep.
With with Pragmata, here's what they're saying about that, which I love. When I said it's a PS3 title or a Xbox 360 title, that's not a diss. When these reviewers have said that, they're not meaning it in a bad way. Here's the review from VGC. It says, Capcom's charming sci-fi shooter feels like it's from moons ago. And starts off by saying, perhaps, blah, 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 simultaneously sounds like Troy Baker and Nolan North. Say that's a very big compliment. And where's armor reminiscent of Platinum's Vanquish? It could be a central gameplay mechanic. Pragmata follows Spaceman. Where's the quote? Here it is. Dynamic third-person shooter. Diana, there's a distinct rubbing your head balance. Pause. But if you need to take your eyes off the complete hack, successful. Okay, hang on. There's a quote in here that I want to get to where they basically say it's a game. Basically, it feels like a game from long ago. It feels like one of those titles from... Oh, here it is. Duh, right at the beginning. I just didn't read far enough. It could be the central gameplay mechanic, which combines crunchy gun blasting with what feels like an Xbox Live Arcade remake of Snake. Whatever it is, Pragmata feels like a remaster of an early Xbox 360 game that never existed, and that's great. That right there. We praised games all last year for coming out, punching above their weight class in sales, and doing it because they were just fun titles with good gameplay and decent stories. I'll be damned. If you just make a game with good gameplay and a decent story, you'll end up with good reviews and hype about your game and people who want to play it and people who are interested. Also, if you price that game $10 below the norm, hey, guess what? Now you have more eyes on it. Way to go. And so, like, that review or that sentiment, VGC is not the only one that has it, but that sentiment makes me very, very excited about Pragmata. And the price also makes me excited because I get to cheat by it and not spend a full $70 on it and still stick to my only $3 $70 titles a year. So, super excited about that because I thought it was a $70 game. What about you, Enate? This one's been on your radar for quite a while. I know you've been excited about it. Morgan's been excited about it. Morgan just wants shoes put on that little girl's feet, and I tend to agree. Put shoes on that baby's feet, please. Anyways.
Yeah. No.
What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, I already pre-ordered the deluxe edition, like 3 days ago.
Digitally or physically?
Digital, yeah, because I split it with Morgan, so I only paid $36.
This is where people make fun of you for pre-ordering digital titles and call you a loser for pre-ordering digital titles, right?
Hey man, they can say what they want. I'm enjoying I'm the one enjoying the buffet over here.
That's right. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I pre-ordered Battlefield 6, and I had posted
Also,
that
I pre-ordered because there's a pre-order bonus, which I don't miss pre-order bonuses. Games I'm excited for, Tony don't miss content. Okay, I don't miss content. No content. I don't care if it's a gun. I don't care if it's a keychain. I don't care what it is. I'm not missing no content.
NCLB, no content left behind. That's Enate's motto.
Yeah, I'm not missing no content, bro. I always tell people, bro, I was like, I don't care if it's a skin, I don't care if it's the color pink, and I'll never wear it. I was like, I'm telling you, I want it all, because if I want the option, I got it.
So here's the deal: Mouse PI for Hire physical edition at GameStop is they have a deluxe edition of it. It comes with a double-sided poster, comes with a couple other things. And I was like, dang, this is really cool. It's $20 higher, though. It's not the normal $10 difference, $20 difference. And I was like, what makes it a $20 difference? And then I see it has a 7-inch vinyl album of the fucking songs of the soundtrack that comes with it. And I was like, dude, if I had a record player at my house, I would absolutely pay the extra $20 to get that daggum vinyl vinyl record, and that to me was pretty freaking cool. So you're talking about extra content, like that to me is pretty sick. Releasing record, that's pretty cool.
Agreed.
Yeah, he should really like Phantom Blade.
You're talking about because you were talking about fast-paced combat.
So I've been Phantom. I need Phantom Blade to give direct answers to questions because on one end it's fast, it's quick, it's hack and slash, and then on the other the combat's going to be punishing and hard. And I'm like, I need y'all to pick a lane and tell me which one it is because I have been up on that game. I have been day one on that game, and I have been completely skipping that game. So I need some more information because I believe that game is going to end up competing for other spots, and so I need more information. They say it's not a Souls-like, and I'm also unsure exactly, Hero. Like they say that, but then they say combat's going to be punishing. Like what do you think a Souls-like is if not punishing combat with a sword? Like, it was just...
Yeah, I mean, they said it was something in between. But I get it. It's like, how do you explain something if you feel that what you've created is new, right? It's not a hack and slash. It's not a Souls-like. It's something in between that we feel fits the role that we want, right? Like, imagine trying to explain the combat for Sifu, right? I haven't played anything else like Sifu, so how am I to explain to you how Sifu works until you really play it?
But
you know.
And then today, one of the things that I had saw in their developer post that somebody put in the Discord was that
yeah, Hell is Us was definitely a lie. You read about that? Still awesome game for the record, but they were definitely lying.
What did they say? They said that that's like martial arts style. And I'm like, okay, so now my interest is even more piqued because does that mean I don't have to use a weapon? Or with my weapon, it's going to be more like kicks and punches and a martial arts style of combat? Because that sounds fun. That sounds pretty damn cool. There's not been a lot of games that have explored that, especially at that graphical level. So that would be kind of neat.
Also the thing that I'll keep in mind, right, is that what I tell people, I realize sometimes it takes a very specific way to show a game or for a game to be showed off, and sometimes that might not be till the very last showing that you're on board. So Stellar Blade, right, which was my runner-up to Game of the Year. It was my Game of the Year for a long time, but Octopath Traveler 2 came out. But it was my runner-up for Game of the Year, and I was not on board day one until the very, very last showing that PlayStation showed, and they started showing the RPG mechanics and the skill tree system, and I pre-ordered the game immediately. And that was the very last showing. So I was on the fence the entire time, and then when they finally got into like, oh, here's all this RPG elements and all these other things about Stellar Blade, and boom, pre-order.
Dude, I was a hard no until I played the demo.
Well, and again, another good example of having a great demo, and that demo was very well done.
It was awesome.
Also, shout out to the music in Stellar Blade once again. Never forget. Absolutely phenomenal soundtrack. Yeah, shout out to a ton of games that have been really giving love to great soundtracks lately. Like, I know we don't always get a chance to talk about it enough, but man, like between them, Expedition, like there's just been, I feel like there's been so many standouts recently. Replaced I'm Playing, which again has a beautiful, cyberpunk, feeling soundtrack. Like there's been so many. It's
ridiculous, and you're gonna think I'm crazy, but like I said, when I was watching the trailer for Mouse PI, that big band style that it has in there, that soundtrack is going to hit. It's gonna be good for that.
But like you said, it gets you in the mood because it's giving you the feeling that goes along with that art style.
Oh, 100%.
It's the music, and then like you said, the way that he speaks, right? So that whole, Charlene was, over there at the the Gimpy League, and talking to Charlie, and it's like it's a very specific
You've
way
been
that they
smooching
talk.
everybody. Mo, Curly, Ned with the gimpy leg.
Exactly, exactly.
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to get your no good, lying, no good, two flesh and carcass off of my doorstep. Like, yeah, that guy.
That guy, exactly.
It's also like, it's everything though. Like that music
Oh
with that
yeah,
genre, with the
I,
breaking of the fourth wall, with the fact that Troy Baker doesn't sound like Troy Baker. Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
is
I
a
actually didn't even know it was him, so that tells you a lot. And I usually recognize him immediately. So
well, I knew he was in the game. I didn't know he voiced the main character. And so I knew that he was in the game. I didn't know what voice, because like I said, I came to this over the past few days. Like this
yeah,
wasn't something like this isn't something like that I've been hyped for, that I've been this and that. I liked the art style, but it was a first person shooter, and we all know how I feel about those. But like Enate said, there's always going to be a game that looks at my most or least like genre and go, hey, hi, I'm here. My name's Cyberpunk 2077. What do you think? My name is
there you go.
Titanfall 2. My name is Battlefield 6. My name is now Mouse PI for Hire. So like 4 games over 2 generations, that's not bad. That's it's
That is not bad at all.
like that's not terrible. But like
I mean, I've talked about how much I don't like roguelikes, but yet at Solum is a game that I've been looking forward to give a try recently, and that game is a pure roguelike.
well, and Hades, Hades 2, Hero was mentioned this earlier. Hades 2 is out on the PS5 now. Like, so anybody and everybody is going to be eating. And this month,
Exactly.
the first part of the year has been okay, but I feel like everything is starting to pick up now, where
Oh yeah, they're hitting the gag now.
hard decisions are about to have to be made. Of like, all right, there's 100 hours worth of games coming out over the next 2 weeks. I got about 30 hours of gaming time over the next 2 weeks. We got to make some sacrifices here. What's not getting taken care of? That's like we are at that point. And Hero just pointed out another thing, like the Forspoken demo and the Pragmata demo. One absolutely helped sell the game, and like
Yeah, they
he
did.
pointed out, Forspoken demo killed the game. Like, because they drop you in there, no context, no pretext, no nothing. And it's like, oh, look at our combat and our movement. And you're like, why do I, what? Okay, I'm supposed to care? Cool. Hell, the demo for freaking Trails in the Sky FC, like,
Yeah, that's sold a lot of people.
it was a 8 to 10 hour fucking demo.
Yep.
And you're sitting there like, at that point, I'm done. I'm engrossed. Like, I need to know what's happening. I need to know what's going on. Because now my dad is on a plane that crashed, and I don't know what the hell happened. Like, I was in it. I was there. It was, and so I have to keep playing to figure out where the heck my dad is. Now I know that my dad might be alive. I'm 2 chapters in, 3 technically. But like,
Indeed.
that's the power of proper marketing. That is the power of improper marketing. Which is going back to our very first topic of the night, which is why when a company like Xbox, who should know better, comes out and says crap that doesn't make any sense, that's like, oh, hey, we're a developer, we're making a game. No shit, thanks, man. And water is wet. I appreciate it. Like, sit down, be quiet.
Well, that was like the comment from earlier from Jez, that was like, internal talks are happening about exclusives.
Good.
And it was like, and I like Omar put that in chat earlier, like when it first came out, and was like, "What does that mean?" And I was like, "It
Of course
means
he did.
nothing, Omar." I was like, Xbox is a company. They have been having discussions about everything surrounding that box since the inception of the box, Omar.
Yes.
I was like, he literally made an article about nothing. That's what he did. I was like, how many times have you not recognized the nothing articles, like the PR speeches? Hey, talks are happening inside of Xbox about Xbox. Really, really? That's interesting. That's wow. Um, so profound. I never considered that Xbox was having a talk about Xbox. While they were at work on an Xbox. Wow. Changed my life.
It
Changed my life.
changed my life. Ooh, that's actually going to segue into this. Let's talk about something that did change somebody's life. Holy crap. I have been more of a tinfoil hat theorist over the last like 2 days than I normally am. But the price hikes on the PlayStation being announced have led to ridiculous growth in sales in several regions, US being one of them. Funny how that worked. I'm not saying they did it on purpose.
I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes you just gotta scare a consumer.
Listen,
I'm telling you.
I'm not saying they did it on purpose.
Some people will just not get off their behind and go get the thing, even though they got the money. They can go get it, and then you tell them, hey, I'm gonna increase the price like crazy. All right, cool. I'll be there tomorrow.
No, I reject that entire premise because that is not the way consoles have worked since 1986.
No. I'm not talking about how they work going down. I'm just saying how people are behaving this gen though. You got a lot of people sitting on PS4s that I know sound like jet engines right now.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
trying to play NBA 2K till they die, and they're just like, well, I'll get it when GTA comes out, or I'll get it when what? Like they're always waiting for a game that's coming, and it's like,
Yep.
but they would have been fine getting the device, and it's not a money issue. That's why I kept telling some people, I was like, y'all are freaking out, thinking that these people are spending money they don't have. I kept seeing people like, you don't need a PS5 Pro. You don't even need a PS5. You don't need blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, most of these people had the money. They were just sitting around until they felt like finally doing it. And guess what? Now that they got scared into it because of the
Yep.
price, whether that was the purpose or not, that's what spurred them into it. But the reality is we also know that I factually know that prices of the devices that are in the components that are in these things are astronomical right now.
Yes,
So
but
the price is really a thing.
I was looking at something earlier today that 60% of all AI data centers have pretty much been shut down now. So like things are starting to go away with regard to AI and RAM usage and like as quick as it came.
So yes,
but okay.
So just like inflation, what always takes forever, the price is quick to do what?
Go up, not fast to come down. I know.
And it's slow to come down.
I know.
Like the burrito I used to pay $10 for is like 13, and
know.
they don't have no interest in lowering it.
No, because people will pay $13 for that.
Because
damn
now
thing.
I'll know you'll pay $13 exactly.
It's the same reason why. It's the same reason why I will not celebrate gas prices going below $3 a gallon. Because motherfucker, that's where they should be. They should.
That's where they should be. Exactly.
I'm not celebrating that. They should be 220, 230, 250 a gallon. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's where they should be. But like,
yeah, the reality of the situation, because I gotta go I gotta go get coffee. It's coffee time. Yeah, she woke up and was like, "Hello."
Oh, shit. See, if you just buy the machine that I have, you could be making her coffee, and then you're done.
But she likes this coffee from Circle K specifically. She did look in where to get the beans, but she hadn't figured it out yet.
Oh Lord, okay.
Yeah, it's a real specific one.
It's a
but I'm also probably gonna get food too, because
yeah,
it's like it's 9, so places start closing. But yeah, like I said, SSDs right now, even at like Micro Center, 2 terabyte is like $400. So yeah, exactly. It is. So it's nasty. Like that is insane. I think the last 2 terabyte I bought was like 125 or something. Like it might not even been that. I've seen them on sale for like 108. So like again, like they're still out of control. So we haven't brought the price back down yet. The price is stabilized and is now starting to go down in some instances, but a lot of stuff is still sky high. And it takes a while for those things to transition. So now PlayStation's going to have to go through the stock that they paid the elevated price for before they can revisit the negotiations and re-lower the price on all the components.
Oof.
So it's gonna be a while, but make no mistake though, they're not about to let GTA drop, which happens to be around Black Friday, without busting out some sales.
Well,
So
sure.
yeah,
That's
I'm just waiting for the 100 million announcement. I know they got to be teetering on it if they haven't hit it already, because I know that's just going to be to the detriment of some people to watch the PlayStation 5, skyrocket to 100
just gonna
million.
melt the fuck down.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for that one. And if it hasn't happened yet, on the verge or the eve of Wolverine, I'm sure that will be the case. And then it's just gonna get worse from there. And it's just, because anybody who's everybody is not missing GTA. Like I was trying to explain to somebody, I was like, I don't think people realize there are people who are grown now who were not old enough to remember when GTA 5 launched, who play GTA 5 online now. Like my nephew plays GTA online and he's in high school now. And when GTA launched, he was so small that he could sit on top of my PC and I could hold him with one hand.
Aw.
Yeah, there's a picture like that where Fox has him sitting on top of her PC and he looks itty bitty compared to the PC, and she's just holding him while he's sitting on top of the PC because that's how small he was when the last GTA launched. So he was literally eating Gerber, when
Dang.
GTA 5 launched, and now GTA. That's why I said people. I don't think people. I think it's been so long that people are forgetting how significant and how ridiculous a new GTA launch is. It is a category 5, astronomical event. Like I'm telling you, better put your PTO in today because the moment companies find out it's locked in, they're going to start putting blackout days because they know all their staff is going to be missing.
Yeah. That's gonna be interesting. Man, it's that's crazy to think that the GTA 5 was a PS3 title. That's fucking wild.
PS3 title, bro.
God, that's wild.
Way back.
That hurts
way
my
back,
head.
man. Over a decade ago.
That hurts my head.
Right?
Dang. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
man.
That's a lot to take in. That's
It's been a long time.
I've been playing games for almost 40 fucking years.
Same. Which
Like,
again is why I tell people all the time, I've probably forgotten that I've played more games than half these people have played.
dude, the amount of games I rented from Blockbuster or from Video Tan Express in Forney, Texas when I was growing up there, like, dude, Josh, I'm not that old. No shit, like me either. Like, that's how I feel. I'm not that old, guys. It's not possible. Like, golly, I don't feel that old. Like, and now that I'm back on losing weight, I really don't feel that old anymore. Like, but dang.
But yeah, with that,
Yeah. Anyways,
finish out the show, and I'm gonna head out because I gotta go get this coffee and get something to eat. But it has been awesome. It has been a ton of fun. Sam says he's in Dallas, so look, y'all might be able to party.
Yo, what's up, Sam?
See, now you're gonna have an IRL buddy.
Yeah, no,
See?
well, I don't live there anymore. Now I'm in Arkansas, but like, no.
Okay.
Forney is where I grew up. There was a place called, anyways,
Gotcha.
You got to go. But there was a place called, thank you for coming on. He's basically a co-host of the show now whenever his wife doesn't need coffee. But, man, I appreciate you coming on. It's always a good talk with you. We still have a few more topics to discuss. Enate has his own show on Saturdays. They didn't do one this last week because the news cycle was a little low. But normally they're there. Him, Morgan, Weeb, and Omar.
Yeah.
All great people.
Eastern.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, the Otter Player podcast. But yeah, lots to talk about this week, and we'll definitely be doing one. So I'll see you guys there.
Man, I really do appreciate it. With the Rockstar hackers, man, I cannot believe that people were surprised when the Rockstar like stocks went through the roof. This is another reason why I have a tinfoil hat on, and it's really because they needed. I feel like they needed money. I feel like that everybody thought that they were in this position of, oh my God, everything has to release now. And the hackers did what they did, whether they were told to by Take-Two or not. And now everyone's like, oh, hey, wait a second. No, we're perfectly fine. Everything's golden. They're making money hand over fist. Take-Two are in trouble financially. Sure, but like they need it to hit and they need GTA 6 to do what it's going to do. But they're making money hand over fist. Like that is not in question given what the leak showed. They are making a killing. They might be in financial trouble, but they're not in financial ruin. They'll be okay. And I think having that kind of confidence being put into the market, it makes me believe that these leaks and stuff that's happening isn't always above board. Now, like I said, this is tinfoil hat theory. Like this is the part where I get into my little conspiracies and stuff like that, where I don't trust the industry, I don't trust devs, I don't trust big corporations to actually tell the truth, and that anybody will do anything for money. And corporations, the people who lead them, are people who will do anything for money. Take-Two are in trouble if GTA 6 fails to sell $1 billion US dollars immediately. Spoiler alert, they won't be right. Rockstar is fine. Okay, fair enough. We can make that distinction. That's fine. But I do feel like these hacks and stuff that happened are damn near staged. But that is, like I said, that's my tinfoil hat theory. Sam, how long have you lived in Dallas? I meant to ask you that. Fair enough indeed. So I meant to ask Sam how long you lived in Dallas. On to the next thing, though, after I take my tinfoil hat off. This right here, I promised y'all we'd be keeping up with Ubisoft. Take-Two is, we are broke as fuck until GTA 6 comes out. Then Scrooge McDuck like a farmer waiting for his biggest crop of all time after a famine. It's clearly a message to the industry. Yeah, I think I agree with both of y'all that, or all three of y'all. Oh, heck yeah. Entire life. That's awesome, man. I was in Forney from 1996 to 2000. Well, January 2006 when I moved to Arkansas for college. And so that's where I learned to drive. That's all that stuff. So Dallas was that was rough. I was happy I learned how to drive in Forney, going between Forney, Mesquite, and Terrell off of Highway 80. Because it was a lot easier than learning to drive on I-20 and 635, because screw 635. It's even worse now, man. You live there. That construction is crazy. I feel like they've been rebuilding and constructing in Irving for years. Anyways, Ubisoft is going to give us... Forney has blown up. They're annexing more. They actually just bought the land, or are now building on the land between Talty, Crandall, and Terrell, and Forney's annex, which is interesting. My brother still lives there. Anyways, Ubisoft to give Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown devs another chance. This is exciting. It's a rumor right now, has not been confirmed, but it's a rumor. So here we go. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was one of the games that seemed to go down really, really well with everyone who played it, but it just couldn't shift move enough copies to satisfy its corporate overlords. The very highly anticipated side-scrolling action game released back in 2024, January 2024, and by the end of the year, we had confirmation that Ubisoft's decision to disband the studio development team, much to the frustration of its fans, because it came out, did what it was supposed to, sold okay, people enjoyed it, it reviewed decent, and then they shut down the damn studio. Yes, Hero, that is a fact. That's why I didn't get it day one. Because it was overpriced for a side-scroller, and for a smaller project, I didn't think it should have been that much. But now, the same French journalist who shared the bad news back then is claiming that Ubisoft is ready to give the Lost Crown Core's team another shot. Said reporter, who goes by the name of on social media, says that the publisher will be accepting pitches for game ideas from the team. That's okay. So two things. One, the team is still there. They haven't left. They haven't been fully shuttered and canceled, or not canceled, but fired. That's great. That is awesome. That's actually a little different than what we were told originally, that the whole studio got shuttered. So that's really, really cool. Second, the idea of this team being able to come back to them and go, hey, listen, we can do other games, and they were moved to other projects, right? But they weren't shuttered, so that's nice. It's a glimmer of hope, guys. That's what this is. It's a glimmer of hope that Ubisoft isn't just lighting everything on fire, which over the past few weeks, it seems like they're just lighting everything on fire. So it's really good to see this. Reskin it for Assassin's Creed. Yeah, they could. Assassin's Creed, I think it was China and India, I think were both side-scroller games. So, I mean, they could definitely do something like that. It's not... The game wasn't bad. It just didn't hit. And that was the problem. I think, like you said, Josh, I think they thought the IP for Prince of Persia was going to carry the game, and it just didn't. Yeah, China, India, and Russia. And so because of that, they came out at a higher price point. It didn't carry the game. It will all end up at the bottom of the sea. Spoiler. Nelson, you might be right. But as a closet Ubisoft stan who really wants them to come back and really wants them to be a prominent voice inside of gaming again, and not as the butt of every joke, yeah. I'll latch on to anything I get to talk about positive about Ubisoft, because they tend to suck it up quite a bit lately. So it's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. It's something I want y'all to keep your eye on. And look at this. 1.3 million sales, not enough for Ubisoft. That is a wild statement about a game like this. Almost any other developer releases a side-scroller and it hits 1.3 million, they are tickled shitless. You hit 1.3 million with Ubisoft and it's like, hey man, you should have done more. And I'm like, man, that's not true. Hey, listen, spoken like a true Cowboys fan. This is our year. No, I watched half of a game last year, and that was it. And that was enough for me. Here at Under, maybe I thought, like Discovery or Altair Chronicles, they could have sold 2 million if they priced it at 40. Yeah, if they would have priced it lower, that game should have been $30. But if they would have priced it lower, I think a lot more people would have hopped in, because people were excited about it. The nostalgia bait got us, and then meh. It was like, oh, that's the price. Okay, well, I'm out. And that's what happened to me. And then I played it later when it came to the subservice, which is not something that I really expect from games that I want to play on PlayStation. Like, I don't expect the price to... I expect the price to drop to a more affordable spot before I see it on the subservice. It's generally what happens. The month before it hits the subservice, I typically end up buying the title, and then it'll come out. But that didn't happen with this game. And it just didn't drop fast enough to where I wanted it. I mean, I bought it for $28. Isn't that like 15 US? I think so. I think. But now you can get it for $15 US over here anyways. So I hope that this means something good. I hope it means that we're going to see something come back from that dev team, and that we will hopefully get a smaller project from them that selling 1.3 million copies is good. You got to think, man, 1.3 million, that's like $55 million they made. How is that not enough? How is that not enough? Now, I understand 30% of that goes elsewhere, so $25 million. Same price I paid for Lost Soul Aside. Hey, you got screwed. Depends on the... It couldn't have been that big, Josh. Pause. But like... Oh, included discounts. Yeah, then that's... I got you. Okay. Okay. I got you. Okay, I'm with you. I see you. I see you, hero. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. 1.3 million included all the discount sales and all that. That makes sense. Okay. Because then they weren't making 55 or 50... Excuse me. 55 or 53 billion or million. They were making probably a little less than that. Probably something there's about 40, maybe 35. After they lose their 30% to the platform holders, you're looking at 20, 22 still. Like, it just never let the customer think you are too expensive. Dude, that is one of the things about Mouse PI for Hire that really sold me on it was the $30 price point. Because I looked at the price and I was like, man, they're going to charge like 40 or 50 bucks for this game, and I'm just going to wait on it. And I saw 30 and I was like, hey, $30, that's a good price for that game. And it's really what fully sold me on the title. Like, I've spent $30 on shit that way worse than a game that I may have a problem with because it's a first person shooter. Like, I've spent $30 on way worse decisions than that. So seeing that price tag, I was like, yeah, no big deal. 50 people team, a 50 people team at $100K a year for 1 year is $5 million. That is correct, Josh. It is 100% correct. Expedition 33 was so cheap, I bought 3 copies. Hero's like, listen, guys, I did my part. Sandfall Interactive was looking at Hero like, hey, man, if we release a 4th version of that, you want it? And Hero sitting there going, yes, please, I'll take it. I want it. I want it immediately, right now. The final topic we have tonight is, I'm probably not even going to cover it because it's literally the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's the Starfield stuff. Like, how are you going to release the game? When did Starfield release? Let's look that up. Starfield release date. 2023. So 2.5 years ago. September 6th of 2023. Literally 2.5 years ago. They've had, we know this, that they had been working on Starfield for the PS5. Then they got purchased and they stopped working on it for the PS5. But they already had done some work for the PS5 version. How in the actual freaking hell are you going to release a game that has folks speculating that PlayStation is going to take it offline or take it out of the store? I understand that part of the quote-unquote charm of Bethesda are the bugs, it's the jank, it's the this. But when a game crashes to the point of being unplayable, That's a problem. And it's a problem that you think Bethesda would know better than anybody. But yet here we are again. The same situation. Bethesda fans come out, the hardcore ones purchase the game, and guys, it's not like they're purchasing the game in droves. Starfield early PS5 numbers. Let's see. Let's just see what... Okay, so from the very, very terrible, no good, not reliable source that is Alina Analytics, about 140,000 copies. So you could probably cut that number in half or double it. So we'll say that it's somewhere between 70,000 and 280,000. That's a broad fucking window, but that's about as much as I trust Alina Analytics. That's still not that good. Not for a game like Starfield that was supposed to be big and hyped, and everybody on PlayStation was supposed to be begging for it, and it was gonna be amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And like, it just didn't do what it needed to, and then you throw up your own roadblocks. It's like a biker in a race on a team with their other bikers. And instead of helping each other, they're trying to throw sticks into the wheels. Like, it doesn't make any freaking sense. And it really, like I said, it baffles the hell out of me because it's Bethesda. They know this. They know how to skate by with bugs, but not game breaking. And not to where people can't play. Check out the thing in the Discord I just tagged you in. Okay, hang on, Josh. Let me come over here. Hang on. Remember that PlayStation Store races often change daily. Starfield sales positioning is now different on multiple. Okay, let's pull this over. All right, reminder that PlayStation Store rankings change often. Or often change daily. Starfield sales position is now different on multiple global PS stores. US 8th, Canada 6th, UK 5, France 7, Japan 7, and Hong Kong, I think that's Hong Kong, 8. Well, why would they put China and... Okay, I wonder what HK stand for. Is that Hong Kong? Probably. Sounds more like the 128K. Yeah. I would be interested to see the actual numbers, but look at this. There's just more stuff. 1.7 defensive Rockstar hack. Okay, that's what we were just talking about. But like, let's go here. Here's one of the biggest mouthpieces in the world to gobble down on everything Xbox, gargles everything they send his way, and I heard Starfield was having issues on PS5 and wanted to test it for myself. The game crashed on me 6 minutes into the tutorial. 6 minutes. And we know for fact he has a good PS5. We know for fact. It's not even that old. He just bought it recently, if I'm not mistaken. So, why? How? And then on the 13th, the day after, he said Starfield on PS5 is so broken right now. Players are getting their money back. And unfortunately, when I tested it, I had a rough experience. Hopefully, Bethesda acts fast to fix this. Like, another person, sadly, I will be putting my PS5 Pro playthrough of Starfield on pause. I love this game, and my favorite thing to do is exploration, but the constant crashes are ridiculous. I'm about 10 hours in. This was on the 12th, and have about 7 to 8 crashes. Disappointed with Bethesda's lack of optimization. It sounds like a combined, it's combined from my reading of it. I think the theoretical PS5 version of Starfield, oh, wait, that's wrong. Like, Xbox fans, Bethesda fans, people who clearly have purchased the game before and played it before, are not liking it because it crashes. Bethesda, you should know better. I don't play your games, but I know a lot of people who do. I know people who would give you as much money as you asked for, and all you had to do was release the game in not a broken state. That's it. And you couldn't do it. That, to me, is the thing that makes this the most head-scratching. And it's like, Hero, you just said don't be disappointed, just be better with your money and time. The problem is people who play Bethesda games expect the jank and the bugs. They don't expect the crashes to break their game. And so my bad, Mr. Badbit, who does Crossfire, had his save eaten. Oh, dang. I'm sorry, I dead air. My bad. Wow. I can't tell you the last time I had a save eaten. Well, yes, I can. It was Horizon Forbidden West. But I think that was my fault when I tried to do a cloud transfer. But still. So I see it. Hero, I expect perfection for my money and time. Hey, listen, you can expect whatever you want. I expect a good experience for my money and time. I'm not going to lie. Like, when we were on vacation this last week, we went to several different restaurants. And we usually have a rule when we go in out of state or whatnot. We don't like to eat at places that we have here. We will if needed, but we generally don't like it. So we went to this place that we went to last time we went to Florida. And the last time we went, we had really good service. It was awesome. And this time we had terrible service. It was horrible. But I wasn't expecting that. I had already had a prior experience. I knew what to expect. And we didn't get it. And we were planning to go there twice because we loved it so much the first time we went 2 years ago. This time, or a year ago rather, this time the service was bad and it was not even close. And the food was not nearly as good as we remembered it. And there was a lot of stuff wrong with it, kind of similar to this situation. And so because I have expectations of where I'm going to spend my money, and this place wasn't cheap either. It was a seafood place, and it was pretty comparable to most seafood restaurants. A family of 4, you're going to go there, and we spent about $1.20. Which, like, that's... I have a preteen who eats like a freaking adult. And so the experience, though, did not meet the expectation that was previously set. Starfield's expectation is we're going to have some bugs. We're going to have a few issues here and there. Probably going to need to release a patch for it, but it's not going to be game breaking and you're still going to be able to enjoy it and have a great time playing it. And it will be quote unquote fun. This releasing this way is unacceptable. It's not acceptable for PlayStation. It's not acceptable for Xbox. It's not acceptable for Ubisoft. It's not acceptable for Square Enix. It's not acceptable for any development company out there, period. Point blank, end of story. I don't give a shit what color you bleed, who your allegiances lie with, or anything. It's unacceptable. And I can't even blame the players on this one. I can't. I have to place the blame right at Bethesda because they're the ones with the experience and they're the ones that should know better. And they're the ones that have to do quality checks on this stuff. They're the ones who Satya says, hey guys, we're going to get rid of departments. Don't worry, it's just Q&A. Not Q&A. Sorry, wrong department. It's just testing and analysis. How'd that fucking work out for you? Not good here. So it's irritating when I see this, and it's even more irritating when we see people... I mean, honestly, dude, Josh, I think both share a little bit of the blame, but I still put most of it on Bethesda. Sony should have caught it, but they also shouldn't have to babysit a company like Bethesda. Like, that's where it comes in on this. Like, they shouldn't have to babysit Bethesda. This shouldn't be even in question. It's not a first time studio. Hell, it's not even a second time studio. Like, it's ridiculous to look at them and go, hey guys, it's totally fine. Which is why one of the things I will say is I'm glad that some of the Xbox mouthpieces actually said something about it. Because that's not something you usually see. Usually you see deflection, you usually see all that, which there are people doing that. It's out there. It's not that bad. It's part of the charm. I'm not having issues. My favorite is, well, must be your PS5. I'm not having issues. Like, listen, as somebody who played a game live where I had somebody in the chat constantly telling me, I didn't really have those issues. I didn't really have those issues. I didn't really have, like, I was able to show people issues from Lost Soul aside live in real time and had somebody telling me, I love you, Corey, had somebody telling me that I didn't have any of those issues. Or, yeah, I only did it once or twice. I'm like, listen, my guy, I don't care what it did for you, because for me, the shit was damn near broken. And it's the same thing here. And it's not okay. And people who think it is are ridiculous. People who say that this is just people hating because it's an Xbox studio are absolutely, I can't say the R word for fear of people getting bent out of shape, but it's absolutely retarded. It's dumb as hell. It's stupid. And it shows a lack of understanding and a lack of actual give a shit for the games that you play. And it shows a lack of care for the gaming industry that we say that we love. If you really love gaming, this should piss you off to no end. Games coming out broken, no matter who the freaking publisher is or the developer is, should make you upset. It should, Josh. It absolutely should affect games going forward. It should let them know, hey, the push for AI quality assurance checks. I did say QA. That's right. Not QNA, QA. The push for quality assurance checks shouldn't be handled by AI. F that. Give it to a person. Give it to a lot of people. But it should. Will it? Probably not. Or they'll just double down and said, hey, the AI model's learning. Fuck, all they did was move Phil Spencer from the talking mouthpiece to the AI model. The shit's learning. It's learning. It's going to get there. It's learning. Like, it's annoying as hell when we see this from a big studio. It's just like, I'll say this. It's just like seeing Square Enix in Final Fantasy 16, where the combat was smooth as fresh butter. But dadgummit, anything out of combat was, and especially in the cities, was glitchy. It was janky. It was frame tearing. It was awful. And it was repeatable as hell. You could go to several different spots and make it screen tear. And it was bad. That's not okay then, not okay now. I called them out on it, and I will call Bethesda out on it. One of the games I've played to completion, and the other one I will never probably touch. And it's unacceptable regardless. That's the thing that gamers have to get through their freaking head. When people like me come on here and complain about a game being unplayable and how developers should do better, I'm approaching it from an industry at large standpoint of, hey, listen, if you're a fan of this game or this genre or this company, you should be putting their feet to the fire. This should be unacceptable for you. And if it takes a ton of people like me who aren't going to play the Bethesda title to sit and bring a dose of reality to people, then that's what we're going to do. One of my favorite lines in the world from a movie is, and y'all are going to probably laugh, But the overweight nun from Sister Act 2 is trying to teach a sex ed class at the Catholic school. If you know anything about nuns, they take a vow of abstention from sex. So one of the students in the class says, "Come on, nun, how you going to teach us about sex if you ain't never had it?" And she replies back, "You don't have to bite the donut to know it's sweet." Take that into gaming. And I know, funny analogy, funny quote, it's just us here talking. Take that into gaming. I don't have to play this and have it crash on me and have it not work and have it not run and have it die and have it be unplayable for me to be able to tell you that this is a piece of dog shit. And that this is unacceptable and should be unacceptable. And it's things like this that Xbox lets pass through their studios that make me look at stuff that Matt Booty says that we covered at the beginning of the show and go, wait a second, guys. Y'all can't even get this shit done right on your own stuff or on games that are 2.5 years old that you're porting over to another console. How in the hell are we supposed to believe you and anything you say on this? On this new console that's supposed to be so wonderful and great? It's absolutely, utterly ridiculous. And I don't think it should be allowed. And I really wish that PlayStation would have delisted it. Just to prove a damn point. Anyways. That is... Oh! One of the really, really cool things. And I just saw Spawnwave posted this and it reminded me. Metro is getting a freaking sequel. Well, it's rumored. Metro is getting another game. Currently, the bundle is on sale for $6. So, you can go check that out. He's actually showing, I think, the difference between the pricing of... what am I trying to say? The dynamic pricing. Anyways, so yeah, go check that. Just saw something on X Media. Are currently seeing Assassin's Creed Black Flag resynced, and it's revealed is next week. I thought they... Oh no, that was a April Fool's joke. Never mind. PSD list, it would be wild. Huh. Hey, maybe they will. Maybe they'll release it or maybe it'll be revealed next week. Maybe we'll see it. I'm interested to see what Ubisoft does. Guys, we've had a great show tonight. That's it. Go play some games. I think Mouse PI for Hire. Let me actually grab my phone real quick so I can get on my PlayStation app to see if it's available. Because sometimes... because at least it used to work back in the day, East Coast would get the games an hour ahead of time at midnight, and they would release them in Central Standard Time at 11. So let me see if they're doing that for Mouse PI, because if so, that's what I'll be playing. I do plan on streaming that here pretty soon. Josh and I are also going to be going back to Gears of War E-Day. And so we have that we will be doing probably starting Monday or Tuesday of next week. I will be streaming Mouse PI for Hire tomorrow night or Friday night. I got to check with the family, see what we have going on tomorrow. We didn't do anything this Tuesday because my kids got their gray belt in jiu-jitsu. Go kids. And so I wasn't home until like 9 o'clock already. And by that point I was tired. And so I went to sleep. I got on the PlayStation and then decided it was time for bed. But we got some things coming up for the channel. I do have a review still in the works. I'm trying to find just bad timing all around, and I have to figure out my schedule. But we are doing some cool things. Got some live streams coming up. Thank y'all all for coming. Stephen Leon, thank you for being the super chat. Not the super chat, the gifted member guy tonight. You are amazing. You have helped me purchase more games than I normally would be able to. Everybody here who has been able to do that and who's been, giving of their time and their money to the channel. I really appreciate that. It really does help out a ton. And it lets me know that I need to keep going and keep doing this and keep striving, even though we're growing very slowly and the content is rolling out slowly as well. We did get another subscriber during the show tonight, so welcome. I cannot say your name. If you drop into the chat, let me know how to say it phonetically, please, because I have no idea how to spell it or how to say it out. Who is on next week? So next week we have Will777JP, for the very simple fact that I did not realize that this was the third Wednesday until about an hour before the show. And so we will have him on next week. I have offered my humblest of apologies to him, and he's gracious enough to be able to come on next week. So we have him next week. Then the week after, I think we have Falky. And then the week after that, I am not sure. I do have feelers out. Enate is welcome pretty much anytime we open the doors. And so him and I have been talking, and he's pretty much, like I said, welcome anytime. Jez also may be coming on. And yeah, like I said, in a couple weeks, we'll have Falky on. And, you know, we always like to get his opinion on the business side of it. And he likes coming here because we like to focus on the gaming talk as well. And so we get to serve each other in that, lift up one of our brothers with talking about games when he's normally on podcasts just for his business analysis and expertise in that area. So yeah, really, really good give and take. Stephen Leon is going to be coming back on. Also, we're in talks with him to get him on. Yeah, so lots of returning guests, lots of stuff like that. And like I said, guys, it's been great. Gaming is awesome right now. If you're having trouble gaming, take a break, take a breather, figure out what's going on. And sometimes you got to ask the hard questions. If you've been in a funk for a year and a half, 2 years, and you're like, man, this whole generation is just rough. Maybe it's not the gaming, maybe it's you. Ask those hard questions though. Figure it out, because if you want to be a part of a gaming community, we have that here. You can join our Discord. You can do all the things. We love talking about video games. So yeah, with that, guys, we will be out of here. We will catch you